Do you remember? You familiar vaguely with an account? I think it's Matt Ramos on Twitter. He's like he'll often
He's
tweet.
like a chill guy, right?
He'll tweet in such a way that people don't believe he's like a real human being. They feel like he's like just the perfect customer for
Okay.
Marvel and well everything mainstream. I think even beyond Marvel. In any case, I was piqued in my interest because I was told he made a video recently called "The MCU is in Shambles."
Whoa! And yet, I
Okay.
bet if we go through all of his reviews, it'll be just like
Wow,
it'll be
Rex!
like Cosmonaut,
Spoilers.
Yeah.
What? Oh, is that what?
Oh, no.
It's actually funnier than that. It'll be funnier than that.
We did this with Cosmonaut, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So-
did the same thing. He was. Yeah.
What we're gonna do first is check out his video and see what his reasoning is. See from the perspective of someone on the other side of the spectrum who's adored this franchise and its timeline in every way, shape, and form. But today, / yesterday, / whenever this was uploaded, decided enough is enough. It's in shambles now. So we're gonna check out what he has to say.
All right.
Y'all
Sure.
read the title of the video. I never thought this day would come, but it's safe to say that at this current point in time,
Wait, did he just say
The
come
MCU?
randomly? What?
is in shambles.
It might just be glitchy. Or
It might have glitched it. Because for me, he said, "All right, y'all have seen the title of this video. Come." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Wait,
it's not-
what?
it's
What are we
some
talking about?"
Some internet floopage. Wow, audio balancing.
damn, yeah.
Jeez,
Audio
oh.
balancing, please.
So
Also,
yesterday,
wow,
Variety
that
dropped
doesn't
a
look
massive
great.
article titled "Crisis at Marvel"
not a massive
that basically
article.
details a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah,
of the
see, there you go. We read it, so now we have the context. Ain't that great?
We did
Oh,
our
wow.
research.
We did.
Yeah.
disasters
Hooray.
that are going on behind the scenes at Marvel Studios right now. And before we get out of the way and dive into this article, I want to say this.
What's your
because
sponsor?
y'all know me, bro. I started this channel talking about Marvel. I love Marvel. I love the MCU. Even now with the current state of the MCU, I'm still going to ride for this franchise. Because I've grown up
Oh,
with
so
it.
you're worthless.
It's given me memories that I'll cherish with me till
Oh,
the day
well,
I
you could have an
die.
abusive
It's
uncle,
completely
yeah.
changed and transformed my life for the
Coulda-
better.
Jeez, really?
It's just so dramatic.
I don't
I
believe
mean-
you.
Well, I guess
I
the thing
mean,
is,
the
if this is the crux of his career, like if his career kind of exists.
Well, I was
because
going to go
of it.
more with a genuine thing of like my current everything, like me as a person, part of my identity was built by what I understood and learned from these stories or something. It's like,
Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know, like certainly. I'm trying to think of like the nice way I could put this. Is just just what are you? I would love to know what kind of like life lessons you're
See-
getting from Phase 4 and 5. Like
I just noticed it in the background there. He's got the poster for the Uncharted movie.
Really, that's what that is.
Well, at first I was like, okay, so is that Uncharted 3? Because Uncharted 3 has a big old set. It looks like it's the convoy hanging off of the back of the plane there. That looks like
Oh,
Uncharted.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You could see the plane and
Yeah, with all the cargo, which
that's blurry Tom Holland.
man, am I the only person who saw Uncharted?
Yes.
I think I might be the only person who saw Uncharted. Yeah.
So, everything I say in this video is straight up out of love. Because I love Marvel, I love the MCU, I always have, and I
You know,
always
oh man,
will.
I always find this caveat so lame. It's like, can we just like, yeah.
Can you just tell me?
Oh, yeah, imagine-
Also, you'll always love it, no matter what.
Yeah,
It's like,
having this chat with
then
someone.
Why did you fall in love?
It's like, oh, I gotta tell you, like, Marvel's in shambles. But just before I do, I just want to let you know, I fucking adore it no matter what. You're like, okay.
Okay. Cool,
Love
bro.
love should be conditional. There should be a reason why you love something, and that thing, that quality, that attribute needs to be able to be lost, and your love should go with it.
He was
If you
already
love something
dying.
no matter what, then it can't do anything to lose it. So it could be as terrible can be, and you'll still love it, which makes your love like worthless.
By the way, this is 57 seconds in. I know it wouldn't have felt like that because nothing's happened yet, but it's still
Oh
like,
wow, yeah,
wow.
yeah, man, jeez.
And I think out of love, it's important for us to sometimes just take a stand and say, yo, we love this universe so much, there has to be change in order for it to return back to what it once was. And
Why? You'll
Never
love it.
gonna-
You love
never
it.
gonna-
You currently love it. So why
I
change?
think we are going to have to move past that, Rags. Otherwise, this will be something that has to be loaded on every statement that's made.
in order for it to uphold the standard that us as fans are used to getting with every single one of their projects.
By the way, with like someone like this, these are the kind of people where I'd be curious, like, what's their tier list of like greatest to worst MCU movies?
Oh, you'll get a
like I need
brief idea of how he even talks about the best of what we've had recently, and you'll get to know how he draws the line, let's say.
Now, it's important to note that not everything Marvel has put out these past couple of years has been bad. I mean, we've gotten Guardians 3, No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Wakanda Forever, WandaVision.
That just gradually got worse and worse and worse.
I would just love to ask him, just tell me the plot of Shang-Chi. Not detailed, but like, you know, just
basic
1 minute
premise.
from beginning to end.
Who's your favorite character in Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
And
tell me what happened.
WandaVision, like, come on. By the time you hit the second half of that show, no one knows what's going on anymore.
No.
Loki. Marvel has still had their hits over these past.
Also, yeah, Loki was mentioned there.
Oh, and also, just to reiterate, it's been remarkable. It's been actually remarkable how consistently awful these projects have been for the last 2 years.
Kind of not easy to have that happen.
No, it was actually surreal for us to constantly have that bar keep getting lowered. Like, that was surreal of finding new ways to break your canon and to break characters. It was incredible.
When we watched the last Loki episode and we had that brief little like, oh, some of us, is this worse than Secret Invasion or not? And we're like, I don't know, I guess, or not, or sort of, but yeah. So like we constantly
when the whole universe turns into spaghetti, no, this is a little bit, and then Loki could rewrite the universe at will.
You can just rewrite, of course.
Loki, everybody, stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that. Episode's coming your way soon.
But overall, as a collective universe, the quality has been inconsistent, and that's something we're not really used to seeing when it comes to the MCU. When it came to
it's always been inconsistent.
It's always been inconsistent, but it's also, by his own logic, been inconsistent since what, Phase 4? It's like, that's not exactly yesterday. It's been going for a while now.
That's the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
The roller coasters.
Sorry, more than that.
High highs.
2021, so technically 3 years.
We could count it from Endgame, in terms of the actual.
He wouldn't. He probably thinks Endgame is the absolute high point.
He does think Endgame's pretty good.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
To the Infinity Saga, there was so much connection and there was so much of a unified vision that every single project led right into the next.
So we actually know factually that it wasn't. We had the conflict between Joss Whedon and the Russos, even for the stories being written, like the lack of
there
conversation.
There was definitely not a unified vision. The fact that it actually came together in any way that is remotely cohesive is kind of a miracle.
Yeah, and I still believe it's just the fact that there was less to contradict. That's mainly why.
Yes. Yep, pretty much.
And it was all just a never-ending hype train, whereas with Phase 4 and 5...
Never-ending hype train.
What, you were really hyped when, at the end of Thor the Dark World, you were like, man, I'm so fucking excited for what's coming next.
When you were watching Ant-Man for the first time, that was the same hype as watching, Avengers
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp, specifically. It's banger. Yeah, that was a banger. It's so consistently quality.
It's felt extremely disconnected. We've been introduced to so many different heroes that
the thing that's not true either. This is the stuff that annoys me, is because someone at Marvel's listening to this and thinking that these are coherent and accurate criticisms of the...
Yeah, too many heroes, that's the problem. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
No, just they're all shit.
Yep.
Meet them, but we don't even know if we're ever going to see them again, or when.
Not knowing if you're going to see a character again isn't even really a problem in isolation.
No.
I hope I never see them again.
This reminds me of Grace Randolph, where it's like, the problem with Andor is there's not enough lightsabers. It's like,
too many bricks, not enough lightsabers.
How are we to know if Darth Vader's even going to show up? I don't know.
Them again. So there has definitely been some stumbles along the way when it comes to the MCU with Phase 4 and Phase 5.
Stumbles.
As Charles Xavier once said, just because someone stumbles and loses their way
doesn't
mean
God.
No. Especially thinking of the context of that quote.
Yeah.
Like, it just gets stuck in your craw.
Oh my God.
Remember when they ruined and humiliated Patrick Stewart?
I remember. And remember that he was saying it in reference to a man that they killed.
A hero.
Yeah, and then he was saying it to a man who'd done nothing wrong. Don't worry, you stumbled there, Strange. And Strange's like, no, I haven't. I've done nothing. I arrived and you captured me.
I get the impression he was really proud of that. As like, see, I'm gonna tie it all back together with a quote from a Marvel story, no less.
Nailed it.
forever.
Yep.
And it's important that us as fans voice our criticisms, voice the way we feel about the current MCU in order for Marvel
Have you
to
been
make the
doing that
necessary
consistently
changes
for the
to
last few years? Because if not, then you've contributed to this. Surely you would have to.
Well, it's
accept.
interesting, right? You wouldn't want to admit it, but like, so you've implied a positive thing is to point out, a critical nature where warranted and to be constructive. It's like, so there's a bad reverse, right? To not do that when needed. Do you think maybe you've done that? And I'm sure you'd be like, no, I've been honest every single time about what I think is good quality and bad quality. And you'd be like, okay, all right. Yeah,
No, it all just catches up at once. It all just happened. It all just happened.
It's interesting that it reaches the point where it's like, oh, Marvel's in trouble now that the Variety article is out, and now that the book is out, and now that the films aren't doing so well.
Because remember, nothing has changed between today and yesterday.
No.
Just an article came out. That's it. That's the only difference.
Rags,
nothing has
it's
changed.
so funny you say that. Keep that in mind. Put that in your pocket. Pull that quote out.
Okay, I will. I'll put that in my little.
When we get to the end of this video specifically.
No.
My little pouch.
Well, I'm foreshadowing a big old payoff. Chat, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
pioneer us in the right direction. Because if we sat here and just praised everything and everything is perfect all the time, then guess what? Marvel's just going to continue to keep doing.
He's known as that guy, by the way, like by people typically on the internet. He's known as the guy who would praise everything that Marvel ever does.
What they've been doing. Continue to put.
Let me ask you, Fringy in particular, but let me ask you this question: if you were in charge of his background arrangement, right? Would you have put his two Supermen both on the tops of opposite cabinets?
Probably. I don't know.
I think that's what
the way. I think he's separated it because he's got Peacemaker there in the middle. Yeah, but it's not because he's got Optimus Prime that looks like up
he
there
does
on the
in
top
Iron
left.
Man. Yeah, on the left, and he's got his play button too.
That does feel a little.
What is that in front of the play button?
I don't know. Is that like a torch or something?
A plumbus?
Just sitting there?
I don't.
A plumbus?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what
that
is.
I don't know about the background. I'm not that. I don't. Think
This is where you need the glowing lights or something because you have a very flat, white, not very well lit room. This is where you need those little LED strips to kind of give it some color that isn't purple because that's what everyone does. But something. Maybe you could do blue because that's sort of the way his channel. His blue.
Some blues going, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is if he's wearing a blue shirt, I probably wouldn't want a blue background. I'd probably just do the good old blue and orange.
Maybe, yeah. Orange isn't bad.
Complementary colors. They're your friend.
Yeah.
Put out
could
6
do a blue red like Superman.
Disney Plus shows that feel extremely rushed. That are just. I'm gonna say.
Did he say the shows? Because again, that's another accepted thing that you can say compared to shitting on the movies as well.
That are just.
Let me see.
You got to go back a little bit.
Then guess what? Marvel's just going to continue to keep doing what they've been doing. Continue to put out 6 episode Disney Plus shows that feel extremely rushed.
I don't know. I'm too cynical. Well,
it's just funny you say that he's.
Yes, because that's the accepted narrative is that the shows are flawed, not the films.
Well, let's see, I guess.
I'm gonna save my thoughts for a later date. So diving into the things this Variety article.
No, I'm gonna save my thoughts until I check the temperature of the room and I see what's happening. That's what he means.
He doesn't. He wants to be nice to Marvel. Okay, this is big for him.
He wants to be nice to the multi-billion-dollar corporation.
This is tough. It's saying the MCU is in shambles from him is a big deal. Okay.
Brings up. It starts off by talking about how this September, Kevin Feige and all of the Marvel executives had their annual Marvel retreat where they.
He doesn't have a great smile, Kevin Feige.
Hey,
it's
look,
not
right? It's It's okay. He wears the hat. He's got a look there, He's got a look with his hat.
He certainly does.
It's more mundane and less
he looks
loud.
uncomfortable. Deeply
it's
uncomfortable.
Less loud than the cowboy hat.
I'd be deeply uncomfortable for him at this point. I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on.
Point, yeah, compared to a few years ago.
Not even my magic powers can save Marvel.
That's your Kevin Feige voice?
Yeah.
Not even my powers.
I assume he's like a dark eldritch demon who's inhabited this body.
Go someplace else and they just sit there and they analyze the MCU, what's working, what's not working, and then they course correct. So this is something that's happened for years and years and years, and it's how the MCU has in great detail. It's how it's gotten to where it is.
Why is he describing this like it's an uncommon thing for creatives to go on retreats where they figure out broader plans for writers retreats? He talks about it like it's a Marvel thing. This is just like a common thing.
I just also feel bad that he's like completely convinced like it's just a true fact that phases 1, 2, and 3 were planned out and unified.
Even though that's obviously not true.
Joss Whedon putting in the Thanos clip at the end of 2012's Avengers was like a not a meme, but he was basically just like, yeah, I'll throw that in, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of a meme.
I mean, like he does understand that he does realize that there's been like changes in, because it was Paramount for the first few movies. And then it was Disney, and then there was obviously that Universal with like that there was friction. There was like it wasn't a clear cut sure thing. I mean, surely he knows Iron Man 2 was like the product of a lot of studio tampering and whatnot.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he knows it. I mean,
you literally might not know.
You have Scott Derrickson like leaving Doctor Strange 2. Edgar Wright didn't even like fulfill everything with Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Joss Whedon left with the chance to do possibly going to be the biggest movies ever because he wasn't happy with the way that things work there. It's like, come on.
It's because Kevin Feige and the team are always meeting. They're always looking on what to improve. But this year it was a little different because this year they had a ton of fires, disasters they had to bring up and address. So it wasn't the same Marvel that had the retreat in 2019 once Endgame came out and everything was at its peak and everything already happened. Now, this year's retreat was a little bit different. Starting off with one of the big problems that Marvel addressed, or is currently addressing, is the Jonathan Majors Kang the Conqueror situation. Marvel was very quick to say, this entire multiverse saga is being built on the shoulders of Jonathan Majors. And we've all heard of the very public legal battles that Jonathan Majors is currently going through. So only time will tell on how that works out. But it said that Marvel was already questioning and discussing on moving forward from Kang after the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, because that film just did not perform at the box.
Still don't buy that, by the way. No way.
No, but again, it's like I said, that like as pointed out in chat, the timeline just doesn't even follow. All of the Jonathan Majors stuff happens in March. The film came out in February. So in a month, it just so happened that maybe like a week before all of the stuff was happening with him that they were not going to move forward. Like, you know what I mean?
Also,
I don't buy it.
To highlight a comment, he's extemporizing like he has first-hand knowledge of the topic. He really shouldn't. Yeah, he's talking about the article's contents as though it is kind of like stuff that he's got access to as information, but it's like...
Right, when he's just like us, right? He's just reading the article and then forming an opinion based on it.
Box office. Now, I'm going to sit here and tell you, again, all of the legal drama aside, if we're just looking at what Jonathan Majors brought to the table for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as Kang the Conqueror, he was without a doubt the best part of that movie. The failure...
I don't even know what the best...
Probably Paul Rudd. I don't know, Paul Rudd, man. Yeah, Paul Rudd. I feel like it's got to be Paul Rudd.
Then what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Care after that. He's the only one that I like.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
MODOK, yeah, maybe MODOK.
Yeah, MODOK. That's true. Yes, MODOK
should not fall on the shoulders of Jonathan Majors. But after that film underperformed at the box office, I guess basically Marvel took that feedback and they said, "Yo, should we really be putting the shoulders of this entire saga on Kang?
Should we be putting the shoulders on Kang?"
I think so.
I'm already...
It'd be less imposing without his shoulders. He just has arms sticking out of his sides or whatever he has those shoulders.
It's also annoying, like, that he... I wonder what could have been written in that article that he wouldn't have believed. Like, if the article had just said... Yeah. The Marvel have decided that based on his ability to grow facial hair, we will not be casting Jonathan Majors as Kang in future. Like, if they just said that, I wonder if he would be like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I've been thinking
this for a long time, and now it's finally confirmed.
It's just...
Well, yeah, because he is basically taking everything that's being said in the article at face value.
Yeah. Give him his shoulders back.
If this movie underperformed at the box office... You know, who's to say that people are going to show for the next one where Kang is still going to be the main villain? So Marvel has been discussing that for quite some time now. Another thing that's been
have they?
Have they?
Have they?
Brought up is moving forward from Kang into Doctor Doom. and having Doctor
Which
Doom be the
excites you,
centerpiece of-
doesn't it?
I'm
That's
sure it
fucking
does.
amazing.
Sure it
probably,
does.
right? From your perspective.
It is kind of sad to know there's still plenty to plunder from the comics for a lot of fans.
I mean, we haven't had
Bottomless
Mephisto
well,
yet,
for
Galactus,
sure.
any of the X-Men
And the same
villains
thing
or
happens every
heroes.
fucking time. I feel like Thrawn is one of the best recent ones in terms of like, you wanted him, there he is, he sucks, now we move
Right.
on.
You
By
got
the
what
time you
deserved.
get to the end of the list, you can go back to the beginning of the list again.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're gonna do Thrawn again, but this time he'll be good.
But this time for real.
of the Multiverse Saga. They've had those discussions. Nothing is really final, but the fact that they are having these discussions means
This is what that shadow is so on point. He's not using the article's information and then like addressing it. He's more so absorbed it and now treating it as though it's stuff he knows.
This is
Like,
Yeah.
just doesn't.
like he,
No, I know.
Yeah, he's saying like he wrote
It's
the article.
kind of pissing me off a little bit. It's making me a little bit angry.
Well, compare his coverage of the article with us talking about it, where we
Well,
would
let-
get into like legitimate discussions about what they might need to do and alternatives and all that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, bear in mind, none of us here like Marvel, like the MCU anymore, and even we were like, well, maybe that's not true. This was contested.
Oh, reading
Yeah.
everything we
About
went
it.
through in the past however many hours was all treated with huge grains of salt. Like there was even
Yeah,
stuff
we
that
wanna
we
be
read
correct.
that we were like probably not true. And then chat was like, no, that's true. That's confirmed. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
like,
But
okay,
here, it's just like, yeah, he's accepted it all as factual.
yeah.
that they don't really know where they're going right now. I mean, we're currently in the middle of Loki season 2, and that is for sure going to continue to set up Kang and set up the things that are in store for him. So
For
I
sure?
don't
Such
think
as what? Such as what, buddy? Like,
Well, that's the
such
problem.
as-
It could be absolutely anything,
I mean, what
including
if-
cutting him off entirely. It could be the end of season 2 of
He might
Loki
not come
deletes
back.
Kang from all of
Yeah.
existence in the timeline. That could
But
be a
we
thing.
might not see him again. What if he turns to spaghetti and that's just it?
I'd
And
just be
that's their
so
way of
curious,
being like,
though,
oh
when
shit.
he
Well, I
said-
feel like what I just said was
when-
much more
when-
definitive. I'm saying it could end with deleting him from everything.
Yeah,
Kang's just
I mean,
gone.
Why is that any
That's
more or
Loki's
less
power
possible?
now.
Exactly. He can rewrite reality to his whim.
Yeah, that could have been it. But he's like, no, it's clearly setting. He's seen up to episode 5 just like us, and he's saying it's clear that they're setting Kang up for more. It's just like, are they? Is that what's
I don't know
happening?
about that. I just love when he says, "Oh, they're setting things up." It's like such as
You don't know
Please
what's
tell me
happening to that
what
show,
those
neither do
things
we.
set up. Yeah, exactly.
that switching over so quickly to Doctor Doom would be the right direction to go. I think if worst comes to worst, Marvel should, depending on the way the legal battles work out, Marvel should completely recast Jonathan Majors and move forward with Kang. We spent so much time.
So he said it would be bad to move to Doctor Doom. We should recast Kang, which is, I don't even, like, it's bad either way.
I don't
It'll be
even
horrible either
know
way. Because
how
there's nothing to
to-
do with the actors at this point, or even the characters.
Yeah,
The
I
writers.
mean, what if it comes out that Jonathan Majors is guilty of whatever and he's not going to be in it anymore? Then I'm like, damn, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I guess if we were put in charge, recast Kang is, but you can't really do anything other than that, right? I don't know.
I guess. I
We
mean,
could-
I would just.
I would be
recast him
tempted,
and talk about
actually-
how great the new actor is.
If we have time, maybe write it so that Loki does erase him, and we just get rid of Kang, and we just we like bye, and we do bring in someone
That's
else.
how, yeah, Loki ends. We have Loki ending with that's what Loki kind of does. Is like, well, the Kang is the big bad that's gonna.
I have to go. My home planet needs me. He turned to spaghetti on the way back.
Yes.
Time, guys, building up Kang with the Loki series, with all of the multiverse.
What has been built up?
What has? Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. What has been built? He seems to be just some loser.
You know,
kind of.
what the biggest
Some
building scene
clown.
for him is the after credit scene in Quantumania. That's possibly the only thing that builds him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
look at how many there are, and look at all the different ones, and oh, there's a hierarchy, and they have plans.
You could easily retcon that with someone waking up from a nightmare going, "Ah! oh, wow, that was a crazy dream. All of those
Yeah,
weird
or-
Kangs."
That Loki talks to people about how I saw him, I connected with him through the entire timeline, the plans he had, he was horrendous, I got rid of it, I killed it all. It was terrifying, but then we just write it so that by doing that you leave a gap open, and that's Doctor Doom somehow. Whatever, fuck it.
Just,
Stuff. If it's felt like the entire Phase 4 and Phase 5 has all been just putting. all
so
of their
something
chips
that I'm
into
curious about.
No,
I'm just trying to
Courtney.
figure
No,
out-
come on. Did you hear what he just said?
Let's
Phase
rewind a
5
little bit. Yeah.
has all been just putting all of their chips into Kang,
All of Phase 4 and 5 have put all their chips into Kang.
No, they haven't. The vast majority of the stories have nothing to do with him.
There's no reference to
things, not
Kang in
things also.
80% of the projects.
Yeah.
85?
Again, maybe 85. Because really, it was Loki, it was Quantumania, and it was Loki Season 2.
Yep.
And that's it.
That is it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. What are you talking about?
Has nothing to do with him.
What in Falcon and the
doesn't
Winter
matter.
Soldier, in WandaVision, in fucking She-Hulk,
In
what have all
Moon
of them
Knight.
led, and Moon
Yeah.
Knight, and Miss Marvel and Hawkeye led to Kang?
And Multiverse of Madness, the multiverse movie. That didn't even
Yeah,
have
that
anything
didn't
to do
even...
with
You're right,
Kang.
no reference to Kang in that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about that
What I
Phase
was
4 and
about
5
to-
led to him?
I don't
What
know
I'm
how much.
thinking- Yeah.
How much are people really tied and invested into Kang?
I don't think much at all.
I don't. That's what I feel. I don't feel like
Rags, they're
Kang
invested-
is actually that big of a deal from the audience perspective.
They're invested in what he might mean. It's not what he is.
Yeah, exactly. Because I find it so. There was like a trailer for the Marvels, a recent one, where I think the text on screen said "Be there for what comes next," and as the text faded away, the X in next stayed there for a little bit longer. And to me, that just felt like so indicative of kind of the nature of how Marvel works. It's always about what's next. It's never about what's happening right now. It's always the potential, the teasing for the future.
The simplest
Not what's
calculation.
happening right now.
Why is that good? Well, because it references this. And why is that good? Because I
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, yeah, but that's not
And
that.
maybe I'll
It's like,
see something.
Yeah.
I imagine it in my head, and the anticipation of it is more exciting than the actual thing. And instead of reflecting on what that means in terms of my approach to movies, I'm just going to accept it and continue to run with it, even when it yields these results. What I'm curious about now is I wonder what his angle's going to be for the Marvels. I wonder if he now is going to jump ship on that one and abandon the Marvels and
I
leave
think
it for
he'll
the...
see what the sentiment is gonna sort of be.
Yeah,
like.
he'll wait and see
I
what the
feel like
reviews look like.
yeah, he'll talk about how he's excited and everything, but he'll leave himself room to be able to walk out and say, "Boy, that was so disappointing. Everything I said was true." Like and subscribe.
Mm.
So
Like it.
moving forward from
Yeah.
Kang into Doctor Doom, don't get me excited. I'm super excited to see Doctor Doom, but
I'm sure
completely
you are.
abandoning
Sure
what
you
we've
are,
done
yeah.
with Kang would feel like such a disservice to everything we've gotten up to this point.
You did...
Name him.
Name it. It is funny, because it's like... Because, you know what? I'll be nice and say there is something to what he's saying in terms of, like, there's nothing else. What else has been built up? It's like, well, yeah, there isn't anything. There's nothing we're heading toward, except Kang is going to be a bad guy who does stuff. That's basically all we've done.
Mhm.
So you got that, but like, who cares? I guess he's treating it as though it's like such a waste. It's like, ooh, that's interesting. Internet historian put a disclaimer at the start of his new video asking React streamers to wait 48 hours before re-uploading their stream to YouTube. Thoughts?
Damn.
Interesting.
I feel like this is indicative of the steps that we said are going to happen eventually, pushing further and further forward. And this isn't because necessarily of the recognized statistical damage reactors have done. It's more so, I think, the reaction reactors had to being called out.
Yeah, exactly.
They could
The
have
reaction
covered
to
this
the-
well and chill, but instead, like,
But instead, they decided to show up in front of Jacksonville's house.
yeah, you got some interesting reactions. Not gonna lie.
With Loki, with No Way Home, with Multiverse of Madness, with WandaVision,
What
with
was he
all
doing
this stuff
away
that's
instead of
continued to just build-
Loki? You see how he struggled there as well?
Yeah, because
He was like, with Loki, with... Oh, shit.
Yeah, do it.
And what-
Say my name.
and what in Loki is set up? Tell me, what is it that you've set? What are you waiting for? What do you know about Kang as a character? And the first question should be, well, which one? What one? When?
Which one? Because He Who Remains, cringe name, is not Kang.
Yes.
built up the lore behind the multiverse, continuing to tease
The
what's to
lore.
come.
Oh, yeah, the
behind
lore.
And let's not act
multiverse.
like Marvel hasn't recasted people before. And Kang is arguably the easiest person to ever recast because he just has a million different.
I don't like.
But all the
No,
variants have
no.
suspiciously looked
They
exactly like
they
him.
all are him. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
let's
kind
not-
of the funny thing. Spider-Man can get away with it.
Let's not
because
fuck
we've
around.
seen many. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even really the controversy. You know, if you have like a really crappy actor or an actor that no one liked getting recast, nobody really cares, even if in the narrative it's wonky. It's more so, I feel the meta stuff actually bleeds more into this. It's so high profile. recasting
It's-
Jonathan
yeah.
Majors, everyone recognizes what's happening.
one-
Everybody
yeah, you
recognizes
can-
what's happening and why.
Yeah, you can give all of the in-universe blah 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 that you want. No one's gonna be thinking about that. They'll be like, no, he punched his girlfriend. That's why.
If that ends up being it, we all know. There's no like, oh well, it makes sense. It's like makes sense. It's dumb as fuck.
variants out there. So you could literally just have, let's say Marvel wants to recast with John Boyega, with John David Washington,
He
whatever
ain't
the
coming
case
back
may be.
to work
You
with
just
No.
literally have that variant of Kang that's played by that actor come in and mop all of the other Kangs, and right there you have.
That'll
I'm
really
picturing this
endear me
scene
to the
with
threat
fucking-
of him.
You know, for some reason, John Boyega comes back, and then there's a scene of him killing all of the Jonathan Majors Kangs. Like, why? Sure, it's an after credit scene. We're just stabbing them all.
A villain that is way more menacing than any of the other Kangs we've gotten in the past, and that is
I thought that's what the Quantumania one was supposed to be.
Yeah, I thought they'd built up. I thought they were building stuff up, buddy. What do you mean that he's not menacing or threatening?
Yeah, I thought that it's like, oh, Kang may have been a
I thought you
professional
didn't want
clown
to throw out all of
before.
the material.
but
I thought you
now-
didn't want to throw it out because they were building up.
Mhm.
an easy way to just recast Kang and set up a new Kang variant to be the ultimate crescendo piece that's going to bring the entire multiverse together. Now, another thing this Variety article mentioned.
Do you see that, though? The implication that if we can just do that, we're good.
And we're good. Yeah.
As if, like, what? No, it's such a horrible mess right now. And he said it's in shambles.
That's
But if we
right.
could
The
just-
title is called "The MCU Was in Shambles." ...
Which absolutely
Oh, and someone just said, yeah, isn't the start of Kang's story that he killed all the other Kangs?
Yeah.
Like, so I guess, yeah, we're gonna do it again, but with a different looking Kang. It's like, ugh.
blew
Boy,
my
meta
mind
that seeps into that imagery.
was what they were talking about when it comes to the Blade movie that's supposed to star Mahershala Ali.
Uh-oh.
This was a film that was announced in 2019, and I want to make it very clear that, guys, this wasn't a movie that Marvel originally had planned. Mahershala Ali, after winning an Oscar, called up Kevin Feige and said, I want to do Blade. That is the most, like, home run, knock it out of the park, easiest thing to do. Just a solid standalone Blade film with Mahershala Ali, and that's it. And this
I don't even know if that's true, by the way, but if it is, yes.
If it is, yeah, I mean, you've got the actor who wants to do it. Everyone knows about Blade. It would be a cool sort of thing, especially if it was like tonally just different than everything else, and it's this cool standalone kind of idea with vampires in it and swords and guns and stuff. Is like, okay, you know, Disney could dip their toe into that and see how it does. And I mean, it doesn't have to be a high budget thing. Could be fun, could be cool. You might earn yourself a lot of brownie points with people.
film
Bring
has
it
been in
back,
development
Blade.
hell for years. And now, you know, we
And Marvel marveled it, and they made something crap, and then it destroyed the whole production. Crazy. It's not like that's been happening with everything else, except with creatives that are actually kind of okay with just accepting that as fact. Like,
Big thing.
that's the impression I got from the behind the scenes of Quantumania, is that, you know, Paul Rudd, Michelle Pfeiffer, fucking Michael Douglas, obviously, and Bill Murray, they don't care. They're just like, give me the script, I'll say the thing, whatever this is.
I like that. You know, give me that paycheck, you movie shit, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Meanwhile, someone like Mahershala Ali would have been like, no, I want to make an actual film. I want to make a story.
Like a good
Like,
movie.
yeah.
we've gotten some details on what's been going on with all of the different scripts. Apparently, at one point, one of the scripts had the story revolving around a group of women teaching us life lessons, and Blade was the fourth most important character in the movie.
So I guess
feel like
he
he's
he has a decision to make then about what his angle is going to be on this.
I'm wondering, yeah.
Which I'm more curious about these sorts of decisions than what he's actually saying. It's like, what angle are you going to take with this knowledge? This
Well, the easiest
information?
angle is
Yeah.
Making Blade the fourth lead in his
Blade
own
should
movie.
be the main
Because-
character
yeah.
in a Blade movie. Yeah. Let's. You know what? I think that's probably what he's going to do.
I mean,
Let's
he's
see.
probably not going to say this is in a long line of trying to replace all these characters with, you know, da-da-da.
He might. I
I'm
mean,
so
remember,
curious.
South Park was out at this point, so...
That's true, but
There you
I'm
go.
curious. Let's see.
All right.
First of all, I don't
For reference, if anyone knows what I'm talking about with that, it's just that with South Park having said it, it just makes it easier for everyone to say it. As simple as that.
understand how in any film your title character could be the fourth most important
yes, see,
character.
there you go.
Let alone having that character be played by Oscar-winning actor Mahershala Ali. Like, what?
You can have Oscar-winning characters that are fourth main.
Play side. Yeah.
It's-
I
mean,
guess
that
the whole
happens all
thing
the
is
time.
it's... But like, did you complain about this with all the other Marvel stuff, where you have the character and
What about
they're
like
getting
Stellan
essentially usurped
Skarsgård
by...
playing random scientist who barely gets any screen time? Isn't that fucking upsetting? No,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah,
I
because
think
you're
the
allowed
last
to have
time we
side
saw
characters.
him, he was naked at Stonehenge.
Yes, I think
don't
so.
know.
His greatest role, obviously.
Defining role of his career.
What happened to us just getting a movie about a dude killing vampires?
It makes me think about like Luthen's speech, and whenever he kind of pauses and looks away, it cuts to him running around naked at Stonehenge, and then he just goes back to his speech.
And you gotta
he's-
play some sad piano music as well every
Yeah.
time, and it's in black and white. Do 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 do
I've had to
do
do some-
do.
I've had to use the enemy's tactics. I'm doomed to use the tactics of my enemy.
I have to sacrifice
Naked at
everything.
Stonehenge. If one of you makes that as a meme, please send it to me.
Oh, I'm sure they will
I
if you
need
ask
to
for it.
see- I need to
Sauce.
see that.
Messing people up. That's literally all we're asking for. Again, it's the easiest thing on the surface. It's the easiest thing to do. But now, again, we're looking to the bright side now. Kevin Feige basically saw that and he said,
Okay,
"Yo,
so-
screw."
Oh, did Kevin? Okay, yeah, cool. All right, smart man. Like you found a way to get past it without talking about, and you just talk about how it's it's just interesting.
I think it's an easy fucking dug as well. 4 women or whatever, they have 3 women main characters talking about life lessons. It's so
In a
fucking
movie
funny.
where you want to see a guy fight vampires.
Yeah.
Screw all of that. You're all fired. I'm hiring the writer of Logan. And he's
Man,
gonna write us a new
I don't
script.
get why is this? What is this like Feige like obsession that so many
It's
people
so
have,
weird,
like, as if
because-
he's God.
I love that we do like crediting Feige for cleaning up all the shit on the floor when he was the
Not
one who
his fault
shat.
when he hired all these people. He's the producer. They're all called a Kevin Feige production.
Yeah, like why
Like,
are you
it's
saying
never
like,
his
oh,
fault.
Kevin's fixing it all up? It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, Kevin's cleaning house after he hired all these people.
And Mahershala was already ready to leave the project because there's been so much going on with it behind the scenes that now the writer of Logan, who is obviously a very competent writer, Logan is one of the greatest comic
Name one other film that he's written.
Come on, Frank, that's mean.
movies of all
I
time.
just find it
Now-
funny that when it was like, oh yeah, no, he's really good. It's like, do you even know anything else that he's written? Did you even know he existed until the article mentioned him?
Now he's writing the new script, and Mahershala is still on board. So hopefully this Blade movie actually takes a turn for the better, and we can finally get this film. And apparently, one of the tidbits that they had in there was that the film is now being made it's now being made with a budget that's projected to be under $100 million. So it'd be one of the cheaper Marvel films.
I think we talked about it, right?
Wait.
It feels to me like a Blade film can be done for
For pretty cheap.
50.
maybe not. I don't know if I'd call it cheap, but definitely not fucking 200 million is
affordable.
not needed. You know?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
did it need to
most
cost
of
$200
it-
million?
It's going to be mostly like it's a contemporary setting. You buy a smoke machine, go into some nightclubs and some industrial areas.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you have a transformation of a vampire. Have all the vampire
Your-
makeup be, practical.
Yeah, your CG is mainly in the killing of the vampires, and
Which, it's
which
not
shouldn't be
a
too
big deal.
difficult.
What was Van Helsing budget?
Oh, I think
that
Van
was
Helsing
high.
was expensive.
Yeah.
because
Well,
that
Van
film
Helsing was
visual effects.
160 million.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah.
it was high.
God
Well,
damn.
I guess the more relevant one is
Dracula
the original-
Untold was only 70
The
million.
more relevant one would be the first Blade was $45
Yes,
million.
that's the better comparison. Yeah.
Yo, Underworld was 22 million.
Oh yeah, those movies are pretty cheap. In terms
Alright.
of budget. Remember, Resident Evil movies, they're pretty cheap as well.
And they made lots of money.
films.
I did.
When it comes to a Blade film, that's definitely a film they can make for under $100 million because the action could be so practical. The action in the OG Wesley Snipes movies was fire as hell.
I agree. Impractical
wait,
action
but-
in movies sucks.
Well, yeah, but he obviously is referring to like physical stuff. It's like so. Let me get this straight in terms of my criticism here. I think he's completely wrong. The action in a Blade film. Let's compare it to a Daredevil, or even like you know what I'm gonna get at, right? Like Blade requires a lot of CG work because when he kills a vampire, they have to turn to like a fiery dust.
If,
You can't
Yeah,
do
it
that
depends on
really
how many
physically. It's pretty
vampires-
difficult. Like.
Yeah, it depends on how many vampires he kills and how often. But if you kept your CGI sort of relegated to that kind of thing, it probably wouldn't be too bad.
Well, sure, but like to say that Blade especially is the one that we can do practically is like.
Yeah,
well,
I wouldn't say especially. I would say like Doom
He's-
isn't like it doesn't need to be particularly CGI intensive.
Yeah, like at the top of the scale, you'll have maybe Superman or like Doctor Strange, where it's like, well, most of this is going to have to be CG because it's, you know, like how else? I guess Superman, there's ways around it, of course, but
well, maybe Aquaman, right? That'd be like
yeah,
what you'd like,
and then lower end of the scale,
It's
Daredevil, I'd say, yeah, it's pretty much you need someone who's acrobatic, relatively strong, and then they can sort of sort everything out. But you know, yeah, Blade is not someone I sort of. I wouldn't have associated it with like, oh, that's low on the CG requests.
So
low,
imagine
but not like
lower than the highest, of course. And I don't know where I'd rate him, but it's just that I don't know. It's still a lot of work needs to be done. I would want it to still look awesome, you know.
what they could do
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
today in the present day with someone like Mahershala Ali. Sign me up. I just hope Marvel. Well, I'm glad Marvel made the necessary steps because I swear to God, if we got a Blade movie where Blade
You
is
don't
the
know if
fourth,
they've made the
fourth most
necessary
important
steps.
character, and it's
you don't know.
the movie is just led by just a
Is
group
his
of
finger
women
fucked
teaching
up?
us life lessons, and Blade is just in the background over there. People would
Kinda.
walk
Yeah,
out
see?
I wasn't gonna
Now we-
say anything, but I guess I'm guessing.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
there's
I mean,
some
that
deal there. Yeah, that
could be
just
like
Fine, I just
a
something.
joint
noticed, like,
thing, or it
it's-
could be just
Yeah, they kind of go outwards. Yeah, that's
massive
interesting.
fire that's been happening over at Marvel Studios for a while now is how they've been handling the Disney Plus shows. You know, this
Yes,
has been
because
Tell
that
me
is
about
the
the
narrative.
shows.
That's the narrative. It's the
Yes,
shows that
tell
are really
me.
the problem.
Tell me about the shows. Do
That's
it.
it's weird because like I thought people could easily acknowledge at least some of the films being trash.
At least some of the movies have been bad.
Yeah, throw us
I
a
mean,
bone
remember.
here.
Well, it's just, you know, because I imagine that he buys into the accepted ones, right? Eternals is bad. Quantumania is bad. What's another? Oh, Thor: Love and Thunder is probably in the mix as well as
Yeah,
the
that one's
accepted
safe.
bad
Yeah, those are
movies.
the safe ones. Yeah.
Those are the safe ones.
You won't
compared
say
to, like,
Wakanda Forever.
or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Multiverse of Madness. I,
mean,
still
yeah,
think
he
a lot of
said,
people would
again,
think is good.
He said Shang-Chi, which is an interesting one because, again, please tell me anything that happened in that movie.
Yeah.
completely new territory for Marvel when it comes to Phase 4 and Phase 5 because they didn't need to worry about no Disney Plus shows when it came to the Infinity Saga. But now when it comes to Disney Plus, Marvel has been making the necessary adjustments to actually make these shows and uphold the quality that we're used to.
Oh,
when it comes
have
to
they
them.
been making
You've been
the
making the necessary.
changes?
Okay. Oh well.
As
Okay then.
reflected-
Well, that's.
as
I thought he was gonna
reflected in their
say-
current-
We've been making them to reflect like the storylines to include them to have them support the movie, but no, he just said like the quality is. It's like, bro, the fucking TV shows have gotten way worse if we're gonna compare
the
to
most
Phase
recent
2
one
and
is
3.
Secret Invasion. The most and Loki.
Daredevil, the show, and Punisher, the show, and even take Agent Carter,
but
Agents of Shield. This
different
is
division though.
no, it doesn't. The point being that if you're going to talk about it in a broad sense of Marvel TV shows that were happening at that point, and that the ones now are being raised to the film's quality, it's like, what do you mean? They're way worse.
They are, yeah, I get you. Well, it seems like he's made a mistake that he doesn't recognize. He's like extrapolated something that wasn't even present in the article, which is that changes are being made to the way that the TV shows are going to be produced in the future that will make them better. Because again, the vast majority of the stuff that's going to be coming out for the next year has already been shot. Like Ironheart's been shot, Echo's been shot, and is now coming out. What's the other one that they? What's the fucking? Isn't it another one? As well?
Harkness?
Oh yeah, that one's mainly shot too. So it's like, what changes? And how do you even know that they're making the necessary changes when none of that has manifested in something that you can actually watch and verify? Why would you talk about it like it's a foregone conclusion that everything's better?
Yeah, they've just.
There's
they
no
fixed
reason
it.
to believe
They
it.
made the changes.
Nothing's
They did
happening.
what they needed to do.
The writer's strike just ended, and the actor's strike is still going. Nothing's happening right now. How, like, what?
Well, and the
basis
irony as
does he
well
have to say these things?
is that if you look at the changes they plan to make for the TV shows, all they're doing is doing it as it's been done by everyone else. For some reason, they
What,
didn't
having
do that in the fucking
showrunners?
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the idea that's like, oh,
Yeah.
we're going to do this. It's like, okay, that doesn't really actually solve anything because that just
doesn't mean
catches you up
anything
to
to me.
fucking reality.
Yeah, exactly. And
See-
plus, the fact that apparently with Daredevil, they're going to be reusing some of the stuff that they already shot rather than starting completely all over again makes me wonder. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the total overhaul that everybody kind of wants. That seems like it could yield some really bad results.
When it comes to Daredevil Born Again, we recently heard that they completely scrapped everything that they did
No,
with Daredevil
not
Born
true.
Again.
They
and now
didn't. No, they didn't. Apparently, they're going to be reusing a lot of stuff that they've already done.
Which doesn't surprise me because it's fucking wild to shot that much
Really
and get rid of
expensive.
everything.
Yeah.
And also,
so-
with their track record, maybe they got rid of a lot of good stuff and just replaced it with shit.
Yeah, they
Wow.
the big
doesn't mean
that's the
anything.
fundamental big problem. They don't know what good is. They have no idea.
Exactly, because
You
well,
might
because
as well
remember
have
one
said
of
they
the
flipped a coin again.
one of the things that was brought up was, oh, Daredevil doesn't suit up until episode 4. That doesn't mean anything to me, good or bad. That there's nothing for me to. But like the fact that that was perceived as a necessarily bad thing is like, so you still don't get it. That could be good that we don't see him suit up for several episodes. It could be good that it's more of like a conventional courtroom drama, even if it's not, like the Netflix show.
Starting over completely fresh with showrunners, and they actually got the same showrunners that ran the OG Netflix Punisher show with John Bernthal.
which
Do you see how we almost what you want to hear when he says the OG? You're like, oh,
the OG,
Punisher.
yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
wait,
Well, Punisher.
hey, well, that's not Daredevil. Like, why didn't you say Daredevil?
They got
So
someone to
that's-
do a show who's done shows before.
It's not well.
Like,
The main thing is that's
okay.
what everyone was asking for: is bring back the fucking creators of the one we like. That's like the easy thing.
The problem is, like, that team doesn't exist in some coherent, like, singular way anymore. They're probably all working on different things. It's Jova.
Super exciting, and they also have the same directors that directed the majority of the Loki episodes coming to
No,
Which means nothing, really, to me. If anything, that's a bad sign.
yeah. If the people who made Loki believe that what they made with Loki was top tier, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
direct Daredevil Born Again. So I'm super optimistic about that, and I'm glad again Marvel is.
But you
making
never
the
would
necessary
if
moves.
if the opposite was nothing changed and they were moving forward with Daredevil Born Again as it was, you'd still think it was good, probably. Yeah, maybe you wouldn't.
That's like, I need you to tell me what was a bad project and why, and what was a good project and why.
When were you ever concerned about a project before Variety told you that you should be concerned about it, or The Hollywood Reporter, or Deadline?
Yeah, this video incidentally comes out now, and it's about this article. All right. All right.
Because when they make these moves, they know this isn't going to look good to the public. They know when it's announced that they're scrapping everything they've done for Daredevil Born Again and starting over fresh. That's not a good look. But they're still willing to go through that in order to give us the best product.
It's so fucking funny to me. Like,
All right. Well, there we go. Yeah.
the silver lining with every single thing that ever happens. Like, it's good that they've done this because it's something that they know could be bad to be seen doing it. So that's good.
It looks really bad, and that's why it's so good.
You know, when they reshot Secret Invasion, it's because they knew that they didn't have a good script, and they're putting in all of the effort that they need to do all the necessary changes to make it the best show ever.
Which is good, even if it's horrible.
Product they could possibly make, and props to Marvel for that. One thing that was mentioned in this article was that the She-Hulk series cost over $225 million.
That's been known for a
To put
while.
that into
It's not new
perspective,
information.
That's more expensive than the budget for the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Well, is that true with adjusting for inflation?
No, probably not. It's been 10 years and inflation, it's kind of gone up over the last
Which is really important. A lot of people say it and see it as like a dismissible thing, but when you adjust for inflation, it tells you the actual answer. That's the point of that.
Well, it's the important thing with inflation as well is box office gross, my dudes. Like, if you make the same amount of money 10 years later, it ain't the same amount of money.
Yep.
Don't know how that's possible, but I digress. Now, guys, I highly recommend you guys go and check out this article and read it for yourself.
Oh, is he accepted? I imagine he's on the boat of She-Hulk as bad as well, right? That's one of the more accepted ones.
Surely, yeah. If he's against the TV shows somewhat, then that's got to be one of the ones that goes down.
Because there's just a lot to dive in there. But the biggest thing far...
He's not going to say anything about, like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, my God. He's about to talk about the Marvels, I think.
Oh, no.
In this entire article is that Marvel has been discussing plans to revive Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Right.
as Scarlett Johansson, as Tony Stark and Black Widow, and
I don't think the article said that's what they're considering.
No, the article said that floated as a possibility.
Yeah, like that's like I think the article said like that is an option that could be pursued. I don't think the article ever said, yeah, this is something they're thinking about doing.
Or that they're actually making meaningful plans to do it right now.
bringing back the original Avengers for a new Avengers movie. Now, there are multiple ways you can look at this. When I hear the word...
There's one way to look at it. That's hilarious and embarrassing.
Yeah. And that's it.
It will not happen.
There's no real,
it's
like...
It's not going to happen. There's no way.
Who the fuck says, like, Oh, that's amazing! What a great idea. Like, okay.
Reviving Tony Stark and reviving Black Widow. To me, that sounds like they're actually reviving the characters that made those amazing sacrifices.
Oh my god!
Wow. All right. He didn't read the article. He
no.
didn't read the article, or he skimmed it, or
I don't remember the word
Does he-
reviving being in
does
the
he-
article at all.
Does he think this is a good idea?
Well, we'll see. But
Sacrifices that made Avengers Endgame so special. And the thought of that is insane. Because it would completely take away what made Endgame so special.
There you go.
Tony Stark's death.
Yes.
Tony Stark's funeral.
Okay, there
Natasha's
we go.
sacrifice for the Soul
hey,
Stone.
look at you guys.
That is what
Hey.
made Endgame so special. And if they revive these characters, it completely takes away all of that.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Now,
look at you go.
That is completely different than Tony Stark and Black Widow appearing as variants of themselves in Secret Wars.
Oh,
Oh, well, okay, well, no, okay.
hey, he gets
Never-
like half a point, 0.25.
You get like half credit for like starting to have the correct idea and then pooping on it, but at least you had something to poop on.
Yeah, no, sure. You know what?
We
All
were-
right, buddy.
we were
Yeah,
right
half a
there,
point.
man. You were debated.
That's right, we were debated, yeah. We were debated.
We all expected that. We all expect
Yeah, that's in
that,
the first
that,
half,
that
not
that's
gonna
what
lie.
Secret Wars is going
I
to
don't care if we expect them to do something shit. It's still
I
shit when they
certainly
do it.
want them to do it. Yeah.
be. It's going to be a ton of variants of different Marvel characters we all know and love that we all grew up with, coming together and interacting with others.
I gotta say, I hate the term variant because it implies that there's like some actual like
Validity to
singular-
it.
Original? Like an original?
Well,
like a real one?
like as if there's a real one and then a bunch of fake ones. I don't like the term variant. It
Oh,
bugs
that
me.
right, yeah. I thought you were saying like the fact that it almost makes it sound like it's an accepted thing that we all know is coming and is good and is a part of stories. Variants.
Oh,
It's like no.
Yeah, but no, of course not.
No.
Other variants. Seeing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man interact with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm sure. you love
See,
that.
so
Yeah.
this
yeah.
gives you the insight that
All
this
right.
is the kind of
There we
lad
go.
this is. He loves
There we
this
go.
stuff. He would.
And Marvel is sitting there watching this video going, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Yep. Hugh
Mhm,
Jackman
yep, we'll put that on the
Wolverine.
list.
Yep.
Writing in their
We'll
notepad.
see how much
yeah.
money we can give them.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Yeah,
now, it's not
yeah.
going to be the same Iron Man that we know from Endgame.
It'll be a variant. Don't worry. It'll be great.
It'd be a
It's
variant.
gonna be a
He's the same
different
actor
variant.
and he sounds the
and
same.
that would still be pretty damn epic, and that's what we all...
Why? Why?
That would be an
Why?
epic victory royale. True.
Why?
Because
epic.
he likes Iron Man, and it means that he doesn't have to worry about the sacrifice being undermined in textual formats. It's just cool to have him back. He gets to win for it. He gets the key jangle without it ruining anything that came before.
Okay.
That's what we
alright.
all expect out of Secret Wars. But that...
Remember what you expect? I don't know, man. Well, to be fair to him, I do expect that, but not for the same reasons he does.
Not because it's a good thing, because they're
It's a
just
shit
that
thing,
lazy
specifically
and
because it's a
cynical.
shit thing.
Yeah.
is not what this article sounds like it's referring to. This article is saying it's reviving Tony Stark and Black Widow, and to me, when I hear that,
No, it
not
isn't.
once for a second
Is that
did
what
I
it-
ever hear
I
anyone...
don't know. Like I said, did they use the term reviving in the article?
Let me double check. Let me take a look.
I don't remember. I feel like if they had, we would have talked about it, right?
All right. This would
it
include
says
reviving Robert. Let's see. With Iger publicly acknowledging the downside of a Marvel TV glut that diluted focus and attention, the keepers of the comic book empire are considering some dramatic moves. Sources say there have been talks to bring back the original gang for an Avengers movie. This would include reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s
Okay.
Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow,
I,
both of whom were killed off in Endgame.
But does this article consider Loki to have been revived, for instance?
Well,
Do they
so
understand?
this is what I was going to
there's
say.
different-
The disconnect I have with this guy, I guess, is that I never would have thought they meant bringing, like, reviving, like, actually bringing back the characters that died in those films. I assumed it was a multiverse thing.
Yeah, considering the era that we're in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought they'd bring back those specific characters from it. But you know what? Maybe they would.
Maybe.
Yeah,
They
maybe.
would. Yeah, maybe they would.
Maybe I shouldn't rule it out. Maybe he's right.
Anyone saying that Marvel's reviving Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. No, because this Wolverine we're seeing in Deadpool 3 is just a different...
No, I think the director said that Logan's canon, my man. So maybe it is actually.
Well,
maybe they are.
I was about to
bringing
say,
him
how
back.
does he... Okay, so
How can
this
he
is...
actually know?
It's confusing because Logan's continuity expresses that it's within the timeline of, like, at least It's got references to the Wolverine in there, right? It's got the sword.
The problem is it's complicated because
Yeah.
it's like things ran that played out the same, but some things were different. And I think Deadpool is in the timeline of Logan and not like the timeline that led up to Days of Future Past. It's very confusing.
Because Logan, I don't think anyone thinks of the X-Men universe as like Logan is the sequel to some of the other, like, even though you could, I don't think it feels that. You know, like if you draw a map of like the franchises, when it goes like, say for example, Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, and then you have the reboot, it like will draw lines in different directions. It wouldn't like continue in the same vein, or spin-offs, or ones that are set years before in a different way, or maybe it is kind of like years after, but regards a different character. It's just like these. Logan is like seen as it's on a bit of an island, that film. But in the same vein, I guess the Wolverine is too, and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Then I don't think they're seen as like episodes like 4, 5, and 6 in the X-Men Fox universe, even though they're sharing continuity, if you know what I mean. Not like X-Men 1, 2, 3, where it's like, oh yeah, that's all a following story. Logan is the prequel to X-Men 1?
No, it isn't.
Well, it's set way further forward.
Way after, yeah.
Well, it's even
like the latest in the timeline.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the idea that they cured mutants or whatever, and they all got killed / cured? Isn't that the future that they're in?
What happened was that it was that Charles Xavier had like an episode when, you know how he had the thing where.
Oh yeah, but it's not just the X-Men themselves; it's also mutants in general,
there's
right?
Basically no mutants left. Yeah.
I can't remember if that's taking from which of the many continuities potential, because you have Days of Future Past and First Class and Apocalypse.
Well, as I understand it, it's that Days of Future Past is like the inflection, like that's where it starts to divide.
Right.
So you have the original timeline that plays out, but then like Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, I think the Deadpool movies, they're like from Days of Future Past afterward in a different timeline.
And which one's Logan attached to?
Logan is the second timeline, so that'd be Days of Future Past travels back in time, stops the Sentinels.
Oh, by the way, Vox are now correct. They weren't back when we first covered them in episode, I think 11 or 10 of EFAP, where they said the continuity in the Fox universe is far better than the MCU's. We laughed at them for that, but they are now correct.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep.
Different variant, or he's coming from a different point in time. But at no point was anyone saying, oh, Marvel's reviving Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because they've said it multiple times that the Wolverine in Logan is completely separate from the Wolverine we're gonna see in Deadpool 3.
Whatever that means.
They've sent mixed messages. You can say this all you want, but they've definitely sent mixed messages on the nature of.
There's an elephant in the room here. A lot of people take issue with bringing him back in any way, shape, or form.
In general, exactly, because he had a story that ended. So even if you say like, oh yeah, but it's a variant, it's like that doesn't really address the fundamental point, which is he had a story, it's over, and now you're dragging him back because you need to make some more money.
Yeah, there's a sense that the more we see him after his ending to his story, that the less that ending is his ending. It's more so just an episode.
Exactly. And I mean, he has to understand that, right?
You'd think.
So when it comes to all of this multiverse,
and if someone said like, "Oh, so no more Wolverine," it's like no more Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
No more Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Different guy, different character, different actor.
Change the actor, and people will be like, "It's so easy to know that it's a different one if you change the actor." That's like the number one thing you can do.
We all agree that it's a really difficult character to do well after how well Hugh Jackman did it, but that we'd all be willing to give someone a shot who's well cast, right?
Yeah, there's been plenty of good James Bonds.
Stuff.
You can do it.
And bringing back the OG Avengers, I think we all kind of expected that the original OG Avengers would come back in something like Secret
They're
Wars.
not.
I did.
I don't want. Well,
I don't think they
to be clear, I don't want them to, but I might have expected them to because of Marvel being so shit. Sure.
But now I'm not so sure because they need to pay them more money than they can probably afford to get them back.
As we talked about, we know meta reasons for why. Like, I don't believe Scarlett Johansson would ever come back. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, why would she after what happened?
She, as much as you could say, like, well, it's just gonna be a matter of money, right? And it's like maybe, but she's also super into the art of filmmaking, from what I gather.
Exactly.
She also has money.
She has fuck you money.
She does.
Yeah, she might as well. There's a lot of people where like they get so rich, they're like, it just doesn't matter anymore. Like, what am I gonna spend this? Like, I've got enough. I want to do me stuff now.
I hear the term reviving Tony Stark and reviving Black Widow, to me, one, there's no longevity in that because these characters and these actors have already dedicated over a decade of their lives.
No, I guess though the counter would be if Marvel could get a guaranteed W from it, they'd just do it, even if they knew there wouldn't be multiples of them.
You said there's no longevity because we know that they've already put so much of their lives into it. Like the implication being they wouldn't give much more or whatever. It's just like, well, we never know how long.
Johansson's, she's not that old, man.
Well,
Like,
she's not old and she's fit.
It goes both ways though. Like we could have, Harrison Ford is joining the MCU as Ross soon. It's like, how long are we going to have him for? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
could be one movie.
Like 84 at this point.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Like the idea that's like, well, that means we can't get invested because Robert Downey Jr. probably wouldn't come back for more than one. It's like, what argument is that?
I've been invested in characters that only showed up for parts of a single.
You know what?
Movie.
I've been invested in characters who, a lot of movies don't have sequels. Did you know that? Like a lot of them don't have sequels
to these roles, and realistically speaking, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Chris Evans is probably not coming back. It seems like he's very much done
ready
as well.
to move on.
I don't know. It's just he said a lot of things that seem indicative of like, yeah, I'm a bit tired of it. Like it went for a long time, and I'd rather do other things.
Mm-hmm. Could be. I don't know. For some reason, for me, if I heard an article or announcement for him saying I am returning as a guest spot in like a fucking Avengers multiverse thing, I'd be like, huh. Okay. Meanwhile, if it's either Scarlett Johansson or Robert Downey Jr., I'm going to be like, really?
Yes, that would be more surprising.
OG gang, they're not going to come back and just reprise these roles consistently the way they used to in the Infinity Saga that revolved completely around them. They've already said goodbye to their characters. They've already had that moment that where we sat down during the credits of Endgame and we saw all of their signatures and that was their goodbye wave to the audience. They've already had that moment, so there's no way in hell that they would come back consistently. But
that's not true. Do you know?
That's not true.
Do you mean fucking people put their signatures on that are still here?
Well, so
fucking Banner is still here.
And even if they didn't come back consistently, if they only showed up one more time, why is that like a disaster in your mind? Why is that unfathomable and untenable, you know?
It's so funny to me because it's just like, it's just Marvel. They'll do anything. If it's going to work, they'll do it. I've put it as, there's like different sort of flags to let everyone know like what stages we're at. And one of the big ones was bringing back Iron Man. That was like a big like, we're in serious trouble. But the ultimate, like, I don't think it gets any worse than having something like Iron Man fighting Darth Vader. That's where it's like, it's dead. It's all dead. Yeah. Disney's actually dead.
Imagine?
Yeah.
Your Star Wars theory would think that's very cool.
I'm sure.
Oh, and then you gotta have Mickey Mouse there as well, though, right?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's Palpatine. So when he, like in Episode 3, he goes,
unlimited power.
To get up. Yeah, that's right.
Even if they revive Tony Stark and Black Widow for a new Avengers movie, to me that takes
away. Man, he is obsessed with this particular
special, which is the fact that it was the Endgame. It was us saying bye to the journey that we've been on for the past 10 years.
True.
Well, but the funny thing, of course, is like, well, should he say just bye to those two? Because everything else continues. It drags on the corpse slowly through the fucking desert.
To me, it's just a movie that screams desperation because Marvel knows where they're at this point in time with the MCU.
That's true.
I'm sorry, a White Vision series isn't gonna bring the MCU back to its glory days.
Is that actually happening?
Why not? What if it was what if it was incredible? What if it was like the most profound
I don't know. I think
told?
Maybe I'm with him that even if it was an 11 out of 10, right? It wouldn't matter. It just wouldn't matter.
How many 11 out of 10s does it take?
A lot. It's the exact same thing in reverse now. In order to get their shit back, they have to make great things again and again and again and again.
Consistently.
Like getting one or two is not enough.
That, you need, because great things that were like established, well-recognized series, that makes it easier because more people are likely to pay. But like if Echo turns out somehow to be incredible, very few people are going to watch that show.
We're going to see it, I hope, with Game of Thrones' overall reputation, right? It was on the fucking floor, and then House of Dragon comes out, and you have the sentiment is like, at least from my POV, a big old black cloud is just sitting over the idea that it could be good because it's part of Game of Thrones. Even though you check the creators, not necessarily. There's some crossover here and there, all new characters. It could be good. You watch season 1 for the purpose of review, and that Black Cloud's gone for me. It's like, and now season 2's coming out. I can be a part of promoting it, just by being a normal person who says the show looks good and is good if it's good. What I guess I'm saying is that if they create a season 2 and 3 that's as good as season 1, then by the time we hit the end of season 3, we're gonna be like, oh god, what else have you got? Give us another one. And it's like, oh shit, they've actually managed to undo a lot of the damage that Game of Thrones did to the overall sense of the IP, even though, like I said, it is different. But with Marvel, yeah, if they did White Vision, the TV show, and it was incredible, I feel like it would be like Andor. It would be like nobody gives a shit.
Only if they call it White Vision. They have to call it White Vision.
Well, I think it's called Vision Quest, right?
Yes.
Oh no, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. And like I said, you need that to be good. You need several movies and TV shows to be really fucking, and maybe not even good. They have to be great to pull everyone back in.
We need superstars in the game. The X-Men are on the bench right now, and
it's not. That's really not the. Like, he's not entirely wrong. As in, like, like the part of the problem with that White Vision show would be that if it were great, it's like, well, it's about a robot that people don't even understand from a show. It's like a spin-off of a spin-off almost. You know what I mean? It's like, but if it were a TV show simply called Wolverine, and it was amazing. It's like, yeah, that would faster regenerate the MCU. That's true.
Just because it would get more eyeballs.
The thing is, though, he seems to be focused on the fact that it needs to be about stars, when it's like, well, the more important thing is the writing, but also making it about characters people actually give a shit about. That is an important aspect, too.
It's time to cue him in. The Fantastic Four, we know we're on the way. All of the characters in Deadpool 3, we know they're on the way. Everything that's going down in Secret Wars, that's going to be fire.
Is it?
Why?
How do you know that?
Is it?
You've already decided it's going to be good?
You said that the MCU is in shambles, and yet that's going to be fire. Okay.
Yes, it is.
But Marvel needs to put the superstars back in the game, because when it comes to Phase 4, someone actually did the math. We've met 57 new superheroes.
Oh shit, that's what it was, 57 then. Okay.
Damn.
Oh my god.
In Phase 4 and Phase 5
that is actually fucking nuts. How many superheroes were introduced in Phase 1, 2, and 3?
What, like 7?
Well, it's probably like I'm including like even Falcon, like.
Well, Falcon was Phase 2.
That's why I said Phase 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, Phase 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I guess it probably would have been comparable, right? How many of them were there at?
So the big question is, were they more introduced in Phase 4 than they were in Phases 1, 2, and 3 put together? I wonder. But we should have a criteria of like they should have a power of some kind. They can't just be like, random person. I'm not sure. Obviously, we can't really do that right now, but still, it'd be interesting.
Alone. And at this point in time, we don't know the next time we're going to see Shang-Chi. We don't know the next time we're going to see the Eternals.
That's not the problem. That's really not actually the problem at all.
So you have to make them good. You have to make these movies good. You have to make these characters. It doesn't matter how many. If it's 57 shitty characters, then why would I care? Because why do I think that a pile of shit is better because it's bigger?
If they came with like a thing at the end where a very sterile person room is just like, you will see the Eternals in 3 more projects. Bye. That doesn't make it better.
Okay. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yep.
No, if you want to get butts in seats, and you want to get people invested in the MCU again,
you got to write it well. Simple.
You have to write it well. The writing has to be good. Characters have to be likable and endearing.
You have to bring in the superstars that people actually care about outside of the movie.
You know what the fastest way to put people off the MCU would be to bring in the superstars and write them badly?
I was about to say, if you make X-Men and it sucks,
it's over. It's so fucking over.
You're finished.
The X-Men have always been Marvel's most popular group of characters.
Yeah, but not when they're shit.
Has it?
Yeah, well, they haven't always been. I mean, Dark Phoenix failed. Like, it failed.
Does he mean in the comics they were?
Yeah, but in the comics, well, I mean, Spider-Man. X-Men was really popular in the 90s, like, and the early 2000s. But now it's not quite the case.
And
they've always been really, they've always been a big part of the comics for sure.
Well, I think he said for most popular group, so Spider-Man wouldn't necessarily be the competition, but Fantastic Four would be the competition, I guess.
But X-Men's more popular than Fantastic Four. I'd
Not
say.
when Marvel started, right? Fantastic Four were before X-Men.
Not much before, like a year or two.
But enough that they would have had a time in the spotlight to be like the most popular group, and then they become the most popular group, and eras, right? Because I mean, Avengers must have been pretty popular at some point.
It depends on what time you talk about. Like, because the 90s was like the height of the popularity of like X-Men.
Right, yeah.
Purchased them in 2019, and they've just been sitting on the bench now while we're getting freaking a White Vision series, a Wonder Man series, an Echo series, Agatha, Ironheart, all of that stuff.
Part of the reason why that's probably
so many
happening, though,
heroes.
beyond like rights and everything else that comes with it, is the fact that there's a bit more trepidation with creating X-Men than there is with fucking Harkness. Who cares? Like, pop that out, yeah, go. But when they're sitting there like, how are we going to do X-Men? It's like, how are we going to implement that into the MCU? When should we? Should we do it now or later? Or should it be the results of some big event? Or should it just be something that's always happened? It probably is a nightmare to try and make it work when it's funny, because they shouldn't be spending that much time on it, considering they don't spend any time on making anything make sense. But then again, it's just going to be bad anyway. What I'm trying to say is, like, there's probably a reason why it takes a while to consider how to implement the X-Men. They're giving us Hugh Jackman Wolverine as, like, a big, mutant to go first. Not necessarily first, because isn't Miss Marvel supposed to be a mutant now or something?
Yeah, I guess so.
But that's the safest fucking way to begin implementing X-Men, is to start with possibly the most popular film X-Men ever.
Really brave way to do it would be to have the X-Men team be comprised of the original team and not Wolverine. So, like, the main character would be Cyclops instead of Wolverine.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah, you got to think like an idiot, though. It's got to be like a. I mean, it's just like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Yeah, that'll do it. That's where we start, of course.
Oh, of course, that's the easiest way to do it. Whereas the more interesting way would be if you have the original team that didn't have Wolverine in it. So
as we just said, if they fuck him up, it's going to have much more drastic results than fucking up, Jeremy, the first mutant.
Oh yeah,
where they just tried it with that guy.
Yeah. If they do it and they screw it up, it'll be catastrophic. I mean, that's the thing. X-Men and Fantastic Four are like the last things that they have left. If they screw both of them up, then
I'll say this.
Done.
And I think this sentiment is shared across a lot of the sort of spheres that we're in as well, that we're all assuming they're not going to fuck up Hugh Jackman Wolverine, kind of. We're like, they probably won't fuck that up. It's Deadpool. Looks like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are, pretty involved, and they're pretty level-headed with what works. It's like, they're not going to fuck that up, right? It's going to be a violent movie with some jokes, right? It's not going to be like a terribly written mess, right?
I mean, you hope.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing that's got working in its favor is that if it's Deadpool 3 bringing in a lot of stock and capital from like Ryan Reynolds, that is kind of unique compared to most Marvel productions, where this is something that's being brought in where I think that's like their co-production, like Ryan Reynolds is a producer on it. It's just that because the Deadpool films like existed beyond the MCU, there's a lot of other stuff that gets tied up in it, like that. Yeah, because it's production companies part of it. Yeah, we'll see though.
And a lot of that stuff I just mentioned, some of that stuff is actually exciting, but again, with the current state of the MCU, they need to bring the superstars in the game, because this is what people want.
It's not the problem at all. It's not even close.
This is what the fans want, and this is what people are going to show up for. And at the end of the day, that's why Secret Wars is going to be what it's going to be. This is why it's going to be an absolute, like, nostalgia fest, as a lot of people want to describe it, because Marvel...
Yeah, which is really bad when it's becoming more and more popular sentiment to just shit on that.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks, it's cynical, it's reflective of kind of the world that we're in right now. It's already over. It's kind of funny, right? South Park saying everybody's already fucking tired of multiverse, which is true. Everybody's already getting pretty tired of it. It's only been a couple of years. And now you have to hope that people remain excited about it for several years when people already kind of view it as cynical, by and large.
Everyone knows
Secret
that
Wars
the only way they're going to get Secret Wars to compete to a fraction of what Avengers Endgame made at the box office, which Avengers Endgame was
possible. It's not possible.
No.
It ain't happening. It's just not happening.
No way.
I don't even think there's a way to do that in the perfect environment. Like, I don't think there's anything that can be done.
I think it's Jova. I think it's
no one
Jova.
gives a shit.
It's Jova.
There's you could have it perfectly written with like combining all the storylines of everybody in phases 4 and 5, bringing in characters that are really well sort of supported and meaningful, No. There's a cap on this film now. It didn't used to be necessarily like with a lot of stuff, but I mean, comparing it to Endgame, it's just like, how the fuck is anything going to make that kind of money again in the MCU? How?
You think it's actually going to make nearly $3 billion? I don't know about that, man.
The highest grossing movie of all time when it came out. So the only way they're going to get sequels to match those numbers or potentially even surpass it is by bringing back the characters that people are invested in.
No.
It's not. No, stop. Quit.
By the way,
it's like you're a
these
broken
ideas.
record.
These ideas exist over in the MCU fucking studio. There's people up there, executives, producers that say all of this. Probably the only way this is going to work, guys, if we bring in Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. It's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way we're going to get numbers like Endgame ever again. It's the only way.
Gotten them so far, you know.
Then some other guy's like, "No, it's not," and then he's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Kicks him out the window.
Is they might have to just they might have to do the work. You can't do shortcuts anymore.
Oh yeah, dude, the big sad reality for them in that boardroom is that you like put your briefcase on the table, open up, there's just one sheet of paper that just says you gotta work
hard.
That's it.
Sorry guys, we might have to work.
There's no
hard.
secret answer to this. You've just got to work real hard for real long, and that's it.
And we haven't had enough time with all of these new characters that we've met to truly invest, to truly be in.
Yeah, and Goga just said,
no,
worked
we've
well
had
with
good time with a number of them. They just all suck.
Worked well with MOM,
More
right? Being the
I mean,
if you had MOM being pitched, and I'm pretty sure this did happen, they were like, all right, toss in Professor X, Charles Xavier. The only way we're going to make the kind of money we need to make is if we have Professor X, Charles Xavier. Yes, get in there. God, he's fucking great. Patrick Stewart especially. Oh, if we can get him, yeah, that's great. Okay, next up, Reed Richards, can we get him? It's like, oh, fan cast, yeah, that's going to be great. I don't know what the fucking conversation was to throw in like Agent Carter's, or I guess Captain Carter. Like I don't know if they thought like that's going to bring in the money. Was she even in the trailers? Was that was a complete surprise, right? Like at least intended. The the Illuminati members. The only one that was in the trailer for sure was Professor X, right?
Captain Carter. Wait, did they showed
in the trailer? Because we knew the cast before the film, but that was because of leaks. But in the trailers, I'm pretty sure they only showed Professor X, I think. And Mordo,
right. Yeah.
We would have known about.
Yeah, and Mordo, I think.
But yeah, there would have been some fucking producer being like, all of the members of the Illuminati, that's the only way that we're going to be able to get this film to the price tag that it'll get to. And you know what? That guy probably feels justified. Like, see? I was right. That's the reason.
Invested in them the way we were with Captain America, Tony Stark, Thor.
No, to get invested in them, you have to write the stories.
Yep, you need characters.
You can't just have them be there, man.
You can't like the idea of you fast tracking through the investment process is just it's not you have to make good stuff. You got to do it the old fashioned way. You have to make good stuff.
And the OG Avengers when it came time for Infinity War and Endgame. Again, everything I've said in today's video is coming from a place of love because y'all know I love Marvel. I ride with this franchise to the day I die. And even at this point in time where the MCU may be in shambles, I'm still here for Kevin Feige.
Yeah, see, I'm so glad you reminded the whole in shambles because it's like your video is not really in keeping with your title.
No.
I feel like you lured us in with some more Venom, but then it wasn't Venom at all. It was anti-Venom. It was Carnage or something.
Pick up the shambles and put it all together and make something extraordinary. Something that we're all used to.
What does it mean to pick up the shambles?
What doesn't it mean?
That's not even what they need to do. They need to just drop it and they need to like wipe the board clean and be like, guys, we need.
They need to wipe the slate clean, burn it down, as Senator Armstrong would say.
As they'd say, what was it? Was it Elrond who said swept salt from a table? No, that was Gil-galad who said like salt from a table. No, it wasn't. It was the Elf Commander guy from the Tira. Anyway, they need it's like it's like reforming a religion. You have to go back to the basic tenets of how you do things and just restructure it. It has to be like from the ground up. Who you hire, who you choose to make these projects, the entire process, the financial elements. Like they've dug themselves a big hole here. They're certainly staring down the edge of a hole, a big gaping chasm, and they either you do it today or you do it next year. Might as well do it now when it hurts less.
Cinematic universe, the most successful studio in Hollywood history, just absolutely changed the landscape of Hollywood itself. I love this universe so much, man, and I want to see it thrive, and I think it's important for us to voice it.
And his main solution was bring back characters.
Yeah, bring just key.
But make sure they're variants, though.
Oh yeah, make sure. Yeah,
so it's not so it's not like Hollow, or anything like that.
Our criticisms and concerns, and bring this stuff to light so like that Marvel can make the necessary changes, and instead of us just sitting here taking the same stuff over and over and over again and watching the franchise we love so much just diminish over time. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought of this variety article. All of
you care a lot about what
Comment down below.
Comments. Let me know.
Comment section down below. Again,
Yeah,
I think in the long run, the necessary changes will be made and Marvel will course correct.
No,
I'm optimistic about that.
No,
So with that being said,
make sure to
thank you guys
like
for
and
watching this
subscribe.
video. I love you guys 3000. Let me know in the comments
It's
section
amazing,
down
isn't
below.
it? Yeah, his idea of course correcting is bring back Robert Downey Jr. That's course correcting.
But make sure he's a variant.
So, well, let's finish this.
And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hey,
Oh,
there we
no,
go.
Bye.
Oh, wait. No, there's a subscribe here, but no like and subscribe. Okay.
So, this is this got memed on the internet, right? Because they were just like the fucking absolute state of Marvel fans, as this was the image.
Damn. Wow. Jeez.
But it gets even better.
Oh,
Wow, he gets
it's
no
like,
views
it gets better?
considering his
It gets better?
It gets better.
press.
The next video he released, we were starting the stream and it was released like 2 hours ago, and I was like, no fucking way.
Oh,
So
was it?
I'm gonna pop her on, and you guys can read
Oh,
the
no.
title.
Y'all read the title of the video.
Can you see?
What?
It says, "I'm sorry, Marvel."
I'm sorry, Marvel.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't
What?
even fucking typing like a child. Oh my god.
What?
And
Okay,
yes,
so
it does
what-
mean
okay,
what you
alright.
think it means. It's not the other version. It's the "I am apologizing to Marvel." That's what this video is.
Wait, no.
No.
This isn't "I'm sorry, Marvel. I had to say something." It's "I'm sorry, Marvel. I was wrong."
Oh my god.
And yes, I believe this was uploaded within like a day or just over a day, something like that. That's since we last saw him. So let's see how his opinions have changed, shall we?
Okay. Okay.
Video. It's time to apologize.
Oh my god.
Ow! Stupid
You
fixing. Okay,
So a
there we go.
couple of days ago, Variety decided to drop a massive article
He got a
titled
haircut.
"Crisis at Marvel," detailing
Wow,
a
he
ton
got a
of the
big haircut.
problems and
Or is it just tied back?
Oh, it might be tied back. If it
disasters
is,
that are
it's...
going on behind the scenes
I
at
guess-
Marvel
yeah, I
Studios. Then, within the past 24 hours, Marvel decided to clap back a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, Marvel decided to clap back a little bit. They dropped a peak Loki episode.
Oh. Wow, you
Oh.
thought that
I
was
need you.
good.
I need you to
Damn,
marinate in this. Everything he
Guys-
said in that previous video has been countered by the fact that he loved the newest Marvel thing.
Wait. Okay.
A
So
peak. By the way, we've seen the Loki episode. It was shit.
It was
No
awful.
surprise there.
It was the
awful.
episode that made us
Absolutely
decide
horrendous.
that it's equally like it's sitting right next to Loki season 1.
Which, remember, guys, we're at a 1 out of 10 on our
1 out of
Loki
10.
season 1.
Yep,
It's,
1
um,
out of 10.
ain't going anywhere.
This is why people are like, you're not a real person. You're paid to do this, right? It's like because it comes across as so fucking soulless to be like, listen, Marvel's
Man,
in
that's the
shambles,
thing.
and then it'd be like, Loki fucking season 2 episode 5 was fire. It was so good.
Yeah, man, I could, but I feel like the likely explanation is just the consumer mindset, though,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's where I was going with that. Is I'm not even sure that it would apply to him as a grifter or shill or paid, whatever. I think he genuinely feels these things.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know. It's fire.
With Loki episode 5, which we're going to talk about in a second.
Oh boy.
And then this Friday morning, they decided to drop the first trailer for the Echo series. Which,
Wow,
let's
the
be honest,
trailer.
Echo was cool in Hawkeye, but I don't know if her performance in Hawkeye and what that character did in that series warranted an entire show. So none of us really had that many expectations for the Echo series.
Well, you were gonna
but
love
this
it no matter
trailer
what.
blew a lot of us away, including myself.
So to clarify, he's apologizing because of Loki's episode being so good and a trailer for Echo.
And this has any bearing at all on a big article that was talking about a lot of fundamental issues with the way that Marvel goes about making their movies and television shows.
You could argue it
As
had
well
nothing
as
to do
other-
with what he talked about as well. Neither of these account for his primary solution, which was to bring in new stars, or rather bring in old stars
Exactly.
that are not there anymore.
I'm sorry because I saw an episode I liked and you created a compelling advertisement
Yes.
for a new television show.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
actually unreal. I was just like, holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a state of disbelief, honestly.
And it's going to be the first TV mature Marvel project.
Yeah, oh my
so
god.
This is going to pave the way for the future
predictable.
projects.
Oh my god. It's going to be better because it's MA and there's a bit of blood. Oh yeah, that means it's going to be some real mature, like, oh yeah, this is
I'm
new
a big boy. I
trailblazing.
like blood.
Yeah. I find that so lame that like it's rated R, so like therefore it must have some sort of inherent intrinsic quality.
For
God,
the
so
Daredevils, the Punishers, the Blades, you know,
It's gonna pave the way for Blade. How can you say that after everything we saw in that article?
Echo will pave the way for Blade because it's MA.
Fucking hell.
3 is obviously going to be R-rated, but Echo is going to pave the way for the darker Netflix type of MCU content that we've been asking for.
Man, I love how it's that. You know what made Daredevil really good? There was blood. That's what made it good. There was blood.
It was, yeah, that was why it was good. If only he knew, because he clearly doesn't, that Marvel don't believe in Echo whatsoever, and that they did try to get it discontinued.
Obviously, they're releasing all of the episodes straight away. They're releasing it on Disney Plus and Hulu, presumably to get it to like
maximum eyes
in some way, shape, or form.
More people, probably.
It's just they don't believe in it. They don't care about it. It won't be influencing anything going forward unless it has a remarkable engagement, which it won't.
No, it's just Echo.
It wouldn't matter if it was 11 out of 10.
Marvel
It won't. No
Studios
one cares
Echo.
about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Word of mouth will not be powerful enough to sell Echo around the place. It's not going to happen.
No way.
For a while, and I ain't gonna lie, Marvel clapping back with Loki episode 5 in that Echo trailer.
It's not a clapback. It's just releasing another episode. What are you talking about?
It was going to come out anyway. It was going to come out.
Yeah.
They were
it was
scheduled to come out. That shit's been done for ages.
Solve all of the problems that are going on behind the scenes at the MCU.
It doesn't address any of the problems.
No.
It is not related to the problems. It is totally irrelevant.
And it doesn't, like, wait a minute, I just realized that means he made the previous video without episode 5, and he said that it was setting up Kang. Do you remember what happened at the end of episode 4? Kang got melted.
Oh, yeah, when it melts him, yes, that's right.
That's all that
the
happened.
reason why I said that is because the Variety article said that the finale sets up Kang.
Oh, right, yeah, but the fucking episodes 4 and 5 don't.
Because remember, the Variety article says that Marvel is fucked because of the way that Loki ends in terms of setting up Kang.
Does not. The VFX workers are still going through it over there at Marvel Studios.
And how do you feel about that, by the way?
Yeah. With Kang the Conqueror moving forward.
That's pretty unethical.
He's clarifying that all of the points of the article are still valid, by the way.
Yeah, because nothing about a trailer and one episode of television that was already done has any bearing on any of the things that were in that article.
To Doom or recast Jonathan Majors. You know, Marvel, it said that Marvel's still discussing plans to bring back the original Avengers and revive.
What do you mean it said? Nothing's changed. It was that same article.
Yeah.
Why is it talking about it like it's a new development? Oh, it's still being said. What, in that article that hasn't changed since you read it today?
We looked over the article and it's still saying it for you, so...
I can't take it.
Which, you know, that can be open to interpretation of what that means. Either it could be multiverse variants that are going to be in Secret Wars, which I'm cool with that. I feel like that was always the plan. Or it could mean actually reviving Tony Stark and Black Widow and undoing the sacrifices they made in Avengers Endgame. And the point is that Loki episode was fire, and I'm sure the finale next week is going to be even more fire.
Sure that
and that Echo trailer was fire as well.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you think so.
Just because those two things are fire doesn't mean all of the problems at the
So why are you apologizing?
You're apologizing to Marvel.
Why are you sorry to Marvel
these
Studios based on these things?
MCU has gone through phases 4 and 5 and all of the little hiccups and mistakes.
And also, I want him to say why he's sorry. I want him to say why I'm sorry. Like, what did I do that warrants an apology?
Well,
an apology should be specific.
Plenty of video left. So.
Yes, we do.
And problems that the studio is currently facing just magically disappears and go away. You know what I'm saying? So, when I said the MCU is in shambles, yeah, there's still a lot going on behind the scenes. Because look, over these...
Okay, this is getting confusing.
Then why? Then like, what is the value of your words?
Well, what's going on? He said that
I will say
he said it is still true.
I'm getting a little bit more frustrated now. I'm starting to feel like I'm being deceived.
Past few years, no one has said that Marvel hasn't come out with bangers here and there. No Way Home, Wakanda Forever, Shang-Chi.
No.
Wow, those suck.
Loki season
No Way
1,
Home was
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
stuff.
Marvel has come out with their bangers. But there's been a
Fuck,
significant
man. There's
lack
so
of
much,
Forever
so
is
much
a
of this video
banger.
is just repeating what he said in the other one. And how many
What is
days
it?
apart were they separated?
What does this guy
Uh,
see in Wakanda Forever? What is it that you're seeing in that god awful movie? That shit to your film. What is it?
Well, so Ebs was in Shambles 2 days ago. I'm sorry, Marvel 7 hours ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
You
I
had a
don't know,
long
I
time
just
to
feel like-
think.
I
so
feel like time's getting wasted here, and I feel like I've been roped in with "I'm sorry, Marvel," and I feel like we're falling back on that. We're just going back to, even with that said, doesn't change a thing. Like now, I'm starting
is
to
this-
feel a little bit more
is all this
cynical
video
about it, like
is-
he is just chasing views.
well, yeah, this is just I really liked Loki season 2 episode 5, and I really liked Echo's
But
trailer.
I can't title it like that. If I say
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, Marvel," that's a little bit more interesting, and that'll get them eyeballs here.
consistency project to project in terms of the quality, the level of writing, the level of direction by the filmmakers behind the
The level of
projects.
direction.
You know,
I don't know. I get annoyed when you just start saying like scripts.
It's the
man,
level
they're
of the
great,
degree
they're
of the
so good.
quality of the execution of
I don't
the way that they kind of,
It's just so rambly.
now
I feel
when it
like we
comes
don't
to the
really have no
MCU, it
direction.
feels like we have to kind of like take every single project and almost like base our hype off that from the team, from the writers that are on board, the directors that are on board.
Name them.
Yeah. But also, it's pretty normal to be interested in a creative project based on the creatives behind it.
I still think people would
Pretty
say
normal.
that Michael Waldron is writing Loki season 2. I still think people would say that.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think it even matters because isn't the guy who's writing it like he was a staff writer on the first season anyway?
Well, it would matter because it's indicative of the fact that people have no idea what's going on.
Oh, I get you. Well, I mean, the reality is that like 95% of the people who go watch Marvel movies don't know any of the directors or writers.
It feels like they're in skin suits pretending to be people who care about writing sometimes. It's like, you don't.
Well, I
lying.
mean, especially with some of the interviews that they give. Like to earnestly I can't even believe that one would earnestly describe Janet's storyline in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as Michelle Pfeiffer's Unforgiven. That's like
Yeah, it feels like
astounding.
gaslighting, if anything.
Something,
I
yeah,
wasn't even
just
talking about the
bullshit.
writers themselves. I was talking about people like Matt here. Like the idea that he's not
sure,
enjoying
yeah.
it, and he's like, the writing is just suffering. Then he is enjoying it. He's like, the writing's so much better. It's like, what are you it's just...
What is the difference between the writing? Could you like explain it to me in any way that's coherent and not
Yeah.
based on meta arguments
Because
about
we've heard him say
star
one
power or something?
thing that, to be fair, is pretty valid in terms of like, why is it bad to bring back Tony Stark after he's sacrificed himself? It's like, it undermines his sacrifice. It's like, excellent. Good
Yeah.
point.
Wow, excellent. That's normal, but sure.
No, I'll say excellent.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
it's,
that's
we call it
incredible.
relativity, I guess.
That's incredible. That's unbelievable. I cannot believe it.
board. We obviously know the team behind Loki is very competent of producing peak.
Very.
So guess what? Whoever's
very.
directing and writing Loki, I'm gonna be looking
Whoever's
at whatever they do
directing,
next. And
I like how
Whoever.
he doesn't even know
Whoever's
their names.
directing Loki,
He
who
doesn't
could it
know.
be? If
He
there
doesn't
was,
know, which
there's
is
no way to
fine. But
find
when you're
out.
hyping
Who is
it
that
up,
mystery man?
How is it
I don't know, it's
peak?
just
Nobody
weird.
knows what's
When-
going on in Loki season 2 right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Tell me what the plot is. Do it,
Nobody
you coward.
knows. It is
Yeah.
chat. It is fucking insane. The end of the episode, the whole universe is melting away into spaghetti, and then Loki says he can control it himself. He just says that.
He goes back
Loki
in time
you
to
can
rewrite
travel through time and
the
space now
existence.
because he
Yeah,
can
Loki
now, because
basically
he
gets
can.
god powers at the end of the episode for seemingly no reason at all. It's just like,
The only
okay,
reason that he was able to do this anyway was because when Sylvie kicked him through the door in the finale of season 1, that for whatever reason had him spread across time in a way that he gets pulled around like spaghetti. If it didn't work that way, if it didn't pan out that way, then there would have been nobody to save all of existence. All of existence would have melted away if it wasn't that way that it works in the TVA, where time doesn't work in past, present, and future, even though Loki jumps from past, present, and future in the TVA. It's nonsense.
also, obviously, when I say he's basically god, I don't mean. I mean,
No, like not like Norse God, like totally omnipotent, completely in control of
Yes,
everything.
that
That's
kind of
the
God.
reality kind of God.
And guess what? Marvel actually hired the directors of Loki to direct the majority of the episodes for
Yeah,
Daredevil
no,
Born
I know. Oh, yes, the
Which
majority,
they
not
scrapped-
all of them, because they're not scrapping everything. Wait, what's is he about to say that they scrapped everything?
that they did for that series up to this point, and now
No, they didn't. They didn't. Why does it keep saying that? They didn't.
because it
doesn't
sounds
matter.
better if he says it that way.
they're starting over fresh with new writers, new showrunners. They actually hired the showrunner
New showrunner, but yes.
from the
Yep.
from the Punisher series from Netflix.
Oh my God.
and now he's gonna be doing.
You're saying this like you didn't say it in the video that you are currently building the sequel video to.
I just feel like he's wasting time. He's just repeating himself.
Gotta get to 10 minutes, I guess. Is that still a thing on YouTube?
10 minutes. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Be the head showrunner for the Daredevil Born Again series, and the directors of Loki are directing the episodes.
Which was fire, bro. It was so fire.
Yeah,
it was just fire,
amazing.
bro.
So
I couldn't
good.
tell you why.
No, he doesn't. He
I mean,
can't even.
come on.
We can make stuff up, and I think people can about like why Falcon Winter Soldier is good. But good luck with Loki. You can't even tell what happened to make up what was good about it.
For Daredevil Born Again. You know, when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came back on in May, that movie was
Back
so
on.
amazing.
Okay.
Top 5 MCU movie in my books.
Oh,
I mean, for anybody in chat who doesn't know, we fucking eviscerated Guardians 3.
The hot take is that it's pretty bad.
It is one of our
Yeah,
yearly
it's-
hot takes. Guardians 3 is awful. It's unfortunate because we were
Still
really hoping for
somehow
that one to be
one
good.
of the best that they've made recently because
Yeah.
the bar is so low.
Yeah, still.
But all of us watched that movie and knew that's all James Gunn. You know what I'm saying? That's all James Gunn. He wrote the movie, he
Unfortunately, yes.
directed it. The Guardians are his little babies.
Like,
that-
what I mean by that is that I wish it kind of wasn't because
It means he's entirely on the hook for all
Yeah.
of the choices that he made.
and I don't know. Like, yeah, my view of him as a writer is complicated at this point. I don't even know what to expect
Oh
anymore.
yeah, like
Yeah,
someone said,
it's
are you excited
complicated.
for Superman Legacy and DC reboot? It's like,
No idea.
Nah.
I don't know. Don't know.
that, you know, he brought to life, and he's directed 3 films, and now this was his storybook ending for these characters. So it's not even like the Guardians 3 was a product of the MCU and what Marvel is accustomed to making. It was just, that was all James Gunn, and now he's off to direct Superman Legacy. So,
Fucking hell.
So, okay. Well, there you go.
On. Let's just keep going.
let's wait and see what he cooks over there with Superman, the greatest
What's he
character
gonna cook?
of all time. But look, when it comes to
Oh,
this
he's Superman's
consistency
favorite
problem,
superhero,
Greatest.
huh?
Greatest
Alright.
character of all
I
time.
wish you the
Interesting.
best with whatever James Gunn cooks.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Well,
Good
whatever
yeah,
it
good
is,
luck.
you'll like it though. So it doesn't
Probably.
even matter. There's no need to wish good luck. There is no disappointing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it
High.
no matter what.
I mean, just within this year alone, we had Quantumania, then we got Guardians 3, then we got Secret Invasion, then we got Loki. Like, we're going back and forth. So let's
Not for us.
okay,
Going back and
Alright.
forth.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
like,
he's saying that
quality
went down,
locally?
up, or whatever.
It's been a nice, consistent disappointment. Well, not disappointment because Guardians was incredibly
Well,
disappointing.
it was
but
very
everything-
I
disappointing.
don't understand why he
everything
fucking
else.
thinks Loki's so good. What's the good of
Yeah.
Loki? Tell me,
What is it
please.
that's good about it? What kind of conversations does he have, you know, with friends about like movies? You know,
I don't know, other than it saying it's fire over and over again.
just pray to our lucky stars that the
Pray to our lucky stars.
Marvels is
Okay.
going to be, you know, one of the best MCU movies.
Why is this
because
cropped
we gotta keep the
badly?
streak alive. You know what I'm saying? We got
something's
Loki.
wrong
Oh,
with the
flash frame too.
and
Oh,
that
whatever.
flash frame. Awesome,
Loki's
love it.
carrying us. Loki right now is carrying the Multiverse Saga. The
What?
Loki is
What does that
carrying
even
it.
mean? The
Loki-
multiverse saga now? Like it's just
Loki
words.
is
It's
collapsing
just
under
words.
it's collapsing into itself like a black hole.
I don't
He's going as he's getting crushed down into that black hole.
I can't understate. The last episode was the spaghettification of the entire multiverse,
Of the
and then
entire
Loki just says,
multiverse.
"Nah, actually, I can control it all.
Yeah.
It's fire."
Multiverse Saga is Loki's story. And let me say this right now, Marvel. If you're watching this video, let me tell you right now, bro.
Let me tell you right now, bro.
Fucking hell, it's so
Kevin Feige, my
dramatic.
bro. Tell me. I'm gonna tell you.
Tell me.
Telling you what's fire,
Whisper
bro.
it into my ear. Inject it into my veins.
I'm just speaking for myself because I don't know how the majority of people would feel about this.
Yes, you
Y'all
do.
let me know
Okay.
in the comments.
All right.
Comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please in the comments.
The Multiverse Saga
Mm-hmm.
is Loki's story.
What does that even
What?
mean?
How good Loki
What does that
season
mean?
1 was.
What?
After how good
I thought it was
season 2 is
Kang's
currently
story. It was
going
on
the way,
Kang's
you're
shoulders.
continuing to develop
Yeah.
Loki's character and basically making him the chosen one.
Oh, good God.
Oh,
He's the
wow.
chosen one because of something.
They were gonna
Explain
kill
to
him
me
in
why he's
Thor
the chosen
2.
one.
Yeah, they were.
They changed their mind, thank God.
Yeah, so then,
But then they changed their mind again.
again
after killing him in Infinity
killed
War.
him, and then they brought him.
That was-
It's so sad. He's the chosen one now. Loki, fucking Thor's
Yeah, man.
brother, is the MCU's chosen one. What the hell?
The god of stories.
The
God of stories.
What is happening?
Okay.
I am way more interested and seeing Loki be the leader of the troops, seeing Loki be the one to come face to face and say what's up to Kang when the time is
What's up?
Fuck me.
What's up, bro? This is fire.
right than any legacy character.
Okay.
I know Tobey Maguire would probably somewhere to
Oh my god! It's so painful. He's imagining the showdown with Kang where we don't even know fucking anything about it, but he's just there. He's in the room. Oh, look at him. He's Kang. Oh, and then there's a door. It bursts open, and who's there but Loki? Because he's the chosen one of the MCU, and he comes. Oh, this is gonna be a great showdown. But I want everyone to know we could take him out and put Tobey Maguire there. Maybe that could also work. I just want to make sure that we put that on.
Tobey Maguire.
It's just.
He's trying to destroy my brain.
He's like sitting Kevin Feige down. He's like, bro, I got some fire for you. Tobey Maguire versus Kang. Okay, I know that's fire. You can have that for free. I'm gonna let you have that.
Oh, my brains.
tickets, and I'm super hyped to see more of Tobey. I'm super hyped to see more of Hugh Jackman and all of that good stuff. But Loki's got to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Loki cannot be sidelined for legacy
I think
characters.
I know what you're saying.
This entire
I think I
multiverse
get it.
saga
You like Loki.
is being built on the shoulders of him and his story. Like Tobey coming face to face with Kang would be probably.
Stop! Please stop.
What are we doing? Just you don't have to write your fan fiction as your script.
It's just it's the
have to.
peak of this shit. There's nothing. What the fuck connects Sam Raimi's Spider-Man to Kang?
What if Tobey Maguire fought Darth Vader and then they went into
This is what I mean. We're steps away.
Galaxy and they took him to Atlantis and then Indiana Jones came out and then Seth Rogen
So
and spun
unfair.
around and
Oh,
stuff.
What?
Interaction in superhero film history. I mean, what is Toby's Peter Parker gonna say to Kang? You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable. We are gonna see it happen probably in Secret Wars or something like that.
It is inevitable. We're probably
please,
more likely than
please,
not. There is at least
please,
a
Ed.
51%.
It's just so fire,
chance.
man. All of it is so
Please.
fire.
Oh, I just want it to end. I want
51% chance
I
we'll
want
see
Marvel
Tobey
to
Maguire and Kang
cancel
talking.
everything.
that.
Just give up.
But I'm just saying, Loki has to be the ringleader. He has to be one of the main members in the mix because
Definitely.
with what Marvel has done with season 1 and now with season 2,
Such as,
it's been absolutely incredible.
such
Also,
as,
massive
please, an example of what you're referring to.
Let us know.
shout out to Natalie Holt. My
In the comments
God, I
below.
love when MCU projects are
Okay, put the fucking copyright cover up. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. this
scored
is-
so damn well, and she's absolutely cooking on the violin or just
Okay, so soundtrack is good. What else?
Which it is.
What else we got?
composer room just cook.
In the
Assemble
composer
girl.
room.
In the
In the
composer room.
room.
The composer room. You know where they keep the composers. The composer room. It's like
It's
like
adjacent
Jesus
to the
stick.
director room. It's it's one of the lower levels.
To make them one of the most fire scores to
Stop using that word. You've ruined it.
Please use another word. What's he gonna say? Ever in anything ever? What's he gonna say?
any Marvel project ever. Now let's talk.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd grant them that. It's I really like the music in Loki.
Yeah, it's good.
It's up there. Yeah.
Talk about Echo real quick, because Marvel.
Okay.
I was unfamiliar
The
with
cooking.
the game, bro.
What are you gonna say?
I
The
was
cooking.
unfamiliar with the game. I had zero expectations when it came to the Echo series. Again, I
Man,
thought
the way,
Echo
he
was
talks,
really good.
the way he talks about like Marvel as if they're his buddy, you know?
Yeah.
Hey Marvel,
Yeah,
you know,
like my
I didn't
friend.
know what you were cooking, Marvel, my friend. You know, who really
My buddy, my pal.
Old
Guys,
chum.
but I don't know if that warranted an entire series about her.
No is the answer to that question.
No, of course it
Obviously.
didn't. This was a project that was greenlit in an era that doesn't exist anymore.
Especially because due to the fact that Daredevil was going to be in this series, Kingpin is obviously going to play a huge role in this series, and this series will set up the Daredevil series. But in my head, my
I
original thought
highly
was
doubt
just,
it has any
just make the
relevance or
Daredevil
bearing
series.
on it at all.
Why do you have to make something in between? But no, my mind has completely 100% taken a 180 turn, and this
Well,
is due
thanks
to
for
the
letting
team,
me
bro.
know that the
team
marketing
cooked.
was effective.
Yeah. Well,
That's the marketing strategy.
this is why it'll be
was
interesting for us
very-
to check out the Echo trailer soon, because like it's the hype, the sheer hype.
Apparently,
I know,
I found out yesterday that one of the writers from Better Call Saul is one of the head writers for the Echo series, Better Call Peak.
Ugh,
Better call Peak. The fuck?
it's fire, bro. That's what he
It's
means.
fire. It's peak.
It's
It's
peak,
high.
it's
on
peak
the
fire.
shoulders. They got the shoulders on Echo.
They pray into
shoulders
the
on her.
shoulders of the
Yeah,
stars on Echo's fire.
The shoulder room where they keep their shoulders.
The
to give
peak of the
Kang.
shoulders
Right,
is
yeah.
absolute fire in the composer's room.
Now Echo is going to be Peak. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Because, guys, another thing, too, is that even though that Echo trailer was great, and this is going to be the first TV mature Marvel series, which we've been asking for a while now, I don't understand why they didn't do this with Moon Knight. Why was Moon Knight not TV mature? Why was Moon
Knight not good, is the question.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so incredibly shit. That was the problem. It's cut to the chase, my good man.
Knight not like this, where you have literally the opening of the trailer is Kingpin beating a little ice cream truck guy.
A little ice cream truck guy.
Oh, okay. So is that what? Look at how
peak.
happy he is. About
It's
it.
peak when Kingpin beats up the little ice cream man. It's fucking
Little
fire.
ice cream man guy. Little ice cream man guy.
Fuck the ice cream man.
There's your thumbnail, dude.
And that right there, in that trailer, guys,
Yeah.
you can already see the difference between Kingpin in this series and the Kingpin we got on Hawkeye.
Okay.
This is Kingpin right here.
All right.
Netflix
Okay.
Marvel is
All
back.
right.
And you know what?
Wow, even from a trailer, we're in. We're back. We're
Wow.
so
Man,
back.
I'd be so curious to ask him, what's your favorite scene in Daredevil that's not a fight scene? I would be so curious to hear what his answer
I
is.
feel like he would at least be able to label the conversation with Daredevil and Punisher, right? Everyone does.
Oh, and excluding that, you don't get to.
Yeah, they don't get to use that.
I'd remove that. Once you remove that off the list, please tell me your favorite scene from Daredevil that isn't a fight scene or that doesn't have Punisher in it. And I'd be so curious if he could give an answer. Because he probably thinks it's like one of the best shows ever made. But like he probably couldn't give you any detailed explanation for why.
Well, you'd still be able to tell you it's fire. That's worth something,
Yeah,
right?
he'd be able
It
to
is
tell me
fire. It's peak.
I wonder. I'd be so curious. It's like, do you have any perspective on the conversation that Matt has with the pastor about like the nature of evil and the existence of evil and whether or not they believe in the devil and if they had the power to stop him, would they, and what would that cost him? I'd be so curious to be like, now, just feel free, just you know, let the consciousness, that flow of consciousness, just give me your thoughts on that. I feel like I wouldn't get anything because it's like the nature of what's here. Oh, it's fire, you know. This show is fire, man. Blew my mind. It was crazy. That's fire. And you know, and it's leading up, and then when Tobey Maguire shows up, you know, and he faces down Kingpin, that's gonna be, you know, let him cook. You know, I was wrong about that. Like, that's the nature of
Base,
this
no cap, no cop, for real.
It would suck if you were Tobey Maguire and everyone wants you in stuff to just be you there in the Spider-Man suit. Just you, I just need you there. And you're like, doing what? Saying what? Why am I there? It's like, just be there.
Just being there for us to
Remember,
just know that you're there.
One of the factoids we read was that his request was that they don't, like, you know, speculate hugely or detail his life between now and Spider-Man 3, that they leave that as vague as they can. Like, yeah, why do you think? He doesn't want any of it damaged. He doesn't want any of it touched. Leave it the fuck alone.
That's right.
As great as this trailer was, one of my main primary thoughts was, bro, if they keep this same tone for Daredevil Born Again, if they keep this
Wow, it'll be
now,
so good.
I
Tone
can
is
see a
quality.
universe where John Bernthal comes back as the Punisher and they do him justice.
What the fuck is going on? I was going to say, it's so funny that they clownified the MCU so hard that if they go with one serious project, everyone's like back on board. It's like, oh, now it's good.
Getting out of his chest, be like, oh yeah, fucking Punisher coming.
This is so peak, bro. The fucking fire.
You know what I'm saying? Now I see that. Now that's open to possibility. Before I was like, bro, they're bringing back John Bernthal's Punisher, but he's gonna be watered down for sure. Nah.
Yes.
Yes.
Just
still
yes. I'm not. You know what? I'd be willing to fucking bet on that. Like, it's so easy in terms of just he's not. You really think he's gonna be anything near what you got in Daredevil and his own show?
Punisher? No
Yeah,
way.
no.
Do you think they're gonna do a scene where Punisher drags a man's face down broken glass? Like, that's never gonna happen.
Or
in
just
a Marvel
brutally
show, even.
fucking kills like 20 people. That's not happening.
Yeah. There's no way.
Not anymore. I mean, guys, that one shot of literally that dude getting his brains blown out in the
Is that all it
Whoa!
takes? This nigga guy got shot in the neck. And it's
This is
like,
what I mean.
see,
It's so clownified that anything serious automatically means quality. You've been trained to think this almost. It's so
Tell
sad.
me about the
It's like
writing.
incredible.
it's like being fed nothing but shit, and then they throw you a McDonald's fry, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is fucking peak, bro. This is fire. This is fucking McDonald's fry. This is like I don't even know anything that's better than this."
in the trailer. And then the other dude that was just literally he was dead, but like his eyes were rolled back and he had blood all over
He
his
was
Bro.
dead, but his eyes were rolled back and he had blood on
Yo,
his face.
but he was like dead.
Sometimes
how
you
you
don't
can
want to
tell
have a great insight into how the people who love this stuff think. It's like, he was dead, there was blood. It's like, okay.
No, this isn't thinking. This is like how a plant reacts to sunlight.
Plant
You know?
with the sun.
Yay, sunlight. Delicious.
Look, it's Syria's
sun.
tone.
Oh, it's
Yay.
over here. Yo,
This
I
is
love
peak, bro.
sunlight. Yum, dude, this is so great.
Every
The sun
peak.
is back, yo. It was dark, but yo, the sun is back. We're back.
We are back, bro. Yeah, when the sun goes down, he's like, this is a shambles. The sun is in shambles. And it comes back up. Oh my god, peak sun.
This corner of the MCU should be TV mature because it's so grounded, because these characters
You
are
just said you do nothing about
Grounded?
Echo, and then you're like, she should be
Yeah.
grounded. You're like, okay.
Yeah, like I bet
Alright.
he doesn't. Does he even know who Echo is? Like the character
My
or
assumption
the
is
comics
no.
history?
No, I don't think so.
Does he
edgy.
read comics?
Who knows?
He can't read.
you know, it's described that Echo is actually
I
a
read the article, Rags.
Someone dictated it to him.
villain in
So they
this
read it
series.
aloud.
And she does like really questionable things, which I'm super interested in seeing. That makes
Wow,
that makes
she
these
does
characters
questionable things.
so much more.
This has got him back
interesting
in.
and
His
All of the
character
heroes-
does questionable things and there's blood.
But that's like all of the
I mean,
characters
it's not
that
like
they're
Wanda
presenting as
did.
heroes.
Yeah, like Wanda.
That's
didn't do any
everyone.
Yeah,
questionable-
Wanda did plenty of that in MOM.
Yeah.
And there
they
was blood.
all do questionable things.
They all do, but they don't recognize that they're questionable or even just
Well,
obviously.
to be
immoral.
fair, if the music tells them it's okay, then it's okay. That comes directly from the composer room.
Yo, fire.
That's right.
Makes a
That's
character
why I
like Echo
think-
so much more complex. Not the fact that she's not all good and she's not all bad. She has her own agenda. She
Well,
has
Wow,
I mean, if
she's
she's
like
a
normal.
villain, right? If she's
Uh,
presented as a villain, she's more bad than good, presumably.
Can't
in
even
the
base
eyes of
this
the
on
creator.
source because, as far as I'm aware, even the creator of the show has said that comic Echo sucks and that she wants to.
Yeah,
make...
they said that her powers were lame, and her
Yeah.
powers sounded like they were Taskmaster powers, which are not lame.
No.
And
very
why would you
cool.
say that about the character that you're adapting?
and she's coming after them, and anyone that stands in her way, she's gonna run through. So since the events of that Variety article
So
dropping,
she's determined.
Marvel has clapped back, but we need to keep the streak alive because again, consistency is key.
We need to keep the
This-
streak
The
alive. It's been
streak of a
day.
trailer and an episode of a
It's
crap
been a
show.
Day.
The
It's been a
streak.
day. Gotta keep the streak alive, guys. It's been a day.
This is what we want as fans. We don't want to go from Quantumania to Guardians 3 to Secret Invasion to Loki. No. We want to go from
wait.
peak-
I mean, if the trend plays out as you pointed out, then Marvels will probably be bad, and then Echo will be good, right? So nothing has changed. So there's no need for an apology.
It's interesting that we've got that sort of that up down thing. Like this one's good, this one's bad, this one's good, this one's bad. You just want to ask him what made Secret Invasion bad, but why is Loki
yeah.
good?
And don't say visual effects. You
Fire.
know, that's
Yeah,
It is
you have to
fire.
actually talk about the story, something writing related.
He did explain it. Loki is kind of the chosen one of the MCU. He's got the whole multiverse rests on his shoulders.
The god of stories.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Kang was the one.
No.
Of whom?
No.
of
Different.
whom
That's the bad guy,
shoulders-
Rags.
Okay.
Gosh, pay attention.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's true. That's true.
Antagonist. Okay, he and Loki are gonna have a face off, and it's gonna be fucking fire. He's gonna take him out. He's gonna be in the mix. He'll be in the mix, like, at least.
Yeah, okay.
With Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I used to make that joke like all the time. I still make it to this day on like real BBC episodes. Just throw him in because it's always funny, and then I actually like see it genuinely being said. Like bring in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man to fight Kang. It's like okay.
Just do it. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. As long as everyone gets paid, just whatever.
peak to peak to peak. Take your time. Slow it down. We've
Peak.
heard many different times.
Fuck, all of his vernacular is
It sucks,
fucking
doesn't it?
internet
Fire.
terms.
There's no
Yo.
words,
Yeah, it's all peak, fire, yeah.
and it'll change
Let him
with the
go
culture
every
that
day.
changes. Those words will
Yeah,
become
pretty
old,
much.
and new ones will be given to him.
Many different times that Marvel has just pumped the brakes on the amount of projects that they've started to develop, the amount of projects that they're making, and now they're trying to
What? Well, they haven't though. Like they haven't slowed down. They're still meant to be like what 5 projects coming out next year.
Yeah, the slowing down we're gonna see in what, like 2025 or something.
It's going to take some time for it to manifest.
take it slow and prioritize quality over quantity. Now we
They're not
Nothing's
doing
fucking
that.
changed.
They're not doing that.
Nothing's changed. Why is he talking about it like anything's changed? Nothing has changed.
now we
What?
got
One
Loki.
episode of
We got
television
that-
and a trailer.
That's why it's crazy because this whole kind of this EFAP episode is about how this is like a borderline. We'll see change a while from now. But like he's saying, like, no, we got it already. It's like, no, not even fucking close.
Haven't.
I don't even think it'd be possible right now. Like, even if Loki were amazing and the Echo trailer were truly an 11 out of 10 trailer, I'd still be like, no.
No,
because trailers are trailers. I know what a trailer's for. I know what the trailer's job is to do.
Remember the trailer for Age of Ultron? Remember that one?
The Last Jedi.
Iron Man 3?
Trailer. A lot of us are very excited for Echo dropping in January. All 5
No,
episodes
none of
at
us.
once.
None of us.
I'm really
12
excited about
people.
because I think that's going to be a perfect series to just binge all the way through in one day, and then we'll talk about what it
Yeah,
means
but if
to
it was
and what comes-
released episode by episode, you'd say it's a great thing to take on week by week and discuss with everybody. Like, whatever it is good because of that.
I didn't even realize you could interpret that positively. I believe dropping Echo all at once when they've never done that with any of their other Marvel shows is that it's being abandoned.
It said something. They're trying to get it out one and done as quickly as possible, not occupying too much time.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they're trying to underplay and circumvent the obvious fucking disaster it's going to be. If we can get it all out and it's done, people can't talk week by week about how much it's not being watched.
Yeah, it won't drag it out.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it'll be
exactly.
talked about how much it's not watched, but hopefully it'll be quicker. You know, we get over it faster. As was the fucking comment, like, we need to ice skate fast over the Marvels or something. Like, there was some comment that was like, we need to get through it fast, get over it fast, get it out, get moving, move to the next thing.
comes next. But we got
What a bad fucking like month that Marvel are about to have.
Yeah.
Loki. That's going to finish up next week. We all know that finale is going to be peak. I mean,
Stop.
actually, let me not say
We
that.
all know it.
'cause I don't want to jinx us. But we trust in the team behind Loki to deliver.
No, we do not. But
I don't know.
okay.
I feel like it says a lot, right? Doesn't it? The kind of words that you use about like the way that your mind is working, like that. If so much of it is like, oh, peak fire, let him cook and shit like that, that it's just indicative of modes of thinking that are more commonly at play.
Whenever
I don't
I
know.
use a lot of words like that, in my mind, I know that they're like meme phrases. They're meme words
Yeah.
that you say like
Well-
on the internet.
well,
I don't
for
say these
reference,
things when I'm talking to human beings in real life.
When we say
You know,
it's
or my
Jova,
parents.
that's a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's the
It's-
weird.
it's
It
a
would be
meme.
it would be the same as if I said something was fire. I'd be like, I'm
Yeah.
using it because I think it's cringy or funny
Or,
or
for instance,
like it's
cope or ooh, bad take or something.
Yeah,
These
they're not
types of, like,
used
internet terms.
to actually like translate ideas I'm having to other people. Like, I'm more so using them as part of it, like, you know, because it seems like fucking hell. It's like 10% of his whole vocabulary is those two words, peak and fire.
Well, I don't know why he doesn't even use a greater variety of internet meme words. It's always fire and cook, let him cook, and what's the other one he's been using?
Peak.
Peak fire.
Peak. Oh yeah, peak, fire, cook while rubbing his hands. That's
And
like
bro, don't forget bro. But that one
And
goes back
bro,
a long
yeah.
time. Bro's been
bro's
around for a
okay.
long
You
time.
can have bro. You're allowed to
Brother.
have bro and man.
I
or
will say
dude.
though, there is an amount you can use any one word that you ruin it. Like bro, I'm fine with using it, and dude, but like if you put them in fucking every sentence and sometimes twice, that's when it gets a bit, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, not good.
a great finale and send us off into the next direction. The Marvels. Wow, Ming. Give me something good, bro. Give me something good.
Do you think it's
Yes,
gonna be good?
he hasn't decided yet. He hasn't decided what he's going to say about
Well,
it.
I think what we're
you're
seeing
right.
is he's
reading the room.
regressed in a matter of hours back. Like he for a moment was seeing like, wait, things aren't so great. No, it's fine. Everything's great. Oh.
Yeah,
ooh.
we are back.
I
Yeah,
think- I think
was that
it
a
really
fever
is.
dream?
Oh,
Did I
dude,
really upload that
It
video?
really is.
Was that a
it's
dream?
so fascinating. He's reading the room. He's not sure yet what stance to take on the Marvels. Like he's sort of sitting back and waiting to see whether or not it gets received well, considered a good movie. Obviously, how much money it makes is probably influential on whether or not he considers it good or bad.
Well-
man, it's I don't know. I find those aspects fascinating, like the kind of games that these people play, and so figuring out what strategies to use, you know, for like the direction they want to take, like their commentary on the state of Marvel or DC or any of those things. I find it so interesting.
My books, if the Marvels is better than the first Captain Marvel, that's a win. But
Oh, what?
Yeah, see, because that's an acceptable stance that Captain
Yeah.
Marvel is boring and not very interesting.
Well, it's one of the safest things you could ever say because you're not even tied down to saying Captain Marvel's bad.
no,
you're just saying
it's
you want
just
it to
that
be
it's
better.
Boring.
Better than
Boring,
yeah.
boring is safer than bad for Captain Marvel. That's the safe one. It's boring, it's lame, it wasn't really interesting. You know, for the first female-led superhero Marvel movie, like, it wasn't that interesting or something like that.
give me a great movie. Come on, I believe in you, bro. I believe in Nia DaCosta. I believe in the team behind the mark.
Why? Do you like her other films?
Maybe he does.
What's her name?
Name one of them.
What's her name? The name he just said.
What's her name? Yeah.
Marvels, you know, I'm a huge Monica Rambeau fan, so I hope to see her shine in this film.
Okay.
Let's keep the streak alive, bro.
Not a streak, man.
The streak.
We don't even know, once the Marvels drops, we don't even know when the next Marvel movie is coming out, because obviously...
Yeah, we do. The Deadpool 3 is still slated for May. I guess it's a foregone conclusion. It will just get moved to the next slot. Like, it'll take Captain America's slot. What do you mean you don't know when the next... It's not like... I find it hilarious, the idea of, fuck, man, a few months without a Marvel movie?
It's worse than a few months without...
Something else.
A few months without knowing when I can expect the next thing. It's like, Kevin, how could you do this to me? Kevin, please.
Kevin, how could you do this? Not the broader state of the industry with all of these strikes.
Do
which
I
is
have
well
to
beyond-
apologize
Kevin
for
is tossing buckets of water onto this flaming disaster. He's trying to put it out, and then he's sitting there like, what's the next thing, Kevin? Kevin, please.
Kevin. He's like, what? What the fuck?
What? I'm trying
What
to
is
save
it?
this company from me.
What is
because
it?
obviously a ton of stuff has...
Yeah, I should have said he's throwing buckets of fucking petrol onto
Why isn't this working?
It's like that,
Eventually we'll run out of things to burn.
it's like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a bit on fire, then you throw the thing like, oh shit.
It's been delayed with the writer's strike, with the current actors strike. Go actors, I hope they get what they deserve.
Damn.
But don't delay my enjoyment too much, there, actors.
Don't take too long, guys. All right? I don't want this to carry over into the next year. All right? That would be untenable.
But after the Marvels comes out, we don't even know when the next Marvel movie is coming out.
Yes, we
it's
do.
either going to be
I mean, it's all planned out.
Captain
It's a
America
roadmap
and,
and everything.
It's
Brave New
Deadpool.
World,
Why do I
or
know this and
Deadpool
you
3.
don't? Isn't this like the only
Or-
thing that you talk about?
Well, maybe he is talking about the fact that we don't know, in a sense, that it's more than likely going to be delayed because of everything that's going
Oh,
on.
sure, but I mean, isn't it just pretty logical that it's just going to take the next slot? If Deadpool 3 gets delayed, it will just come out when Captain America was meant to come out. And then Captain
But we
America
don't
gets pushed
know,
back on
Fringy.
it.
We don't know. We only can speculate.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, one of those two probably. So,
Well, definitely.
suavecito.
Man, does that like freak you out? It's where you need to calm yourself down.
Was there any... What was the
Oh,
apology
man.
part exactly?
Suavecito.
I don't know where the apology
Suavecito.
part is.
Slow and steady. Let's take it slow. Let's get a streak going, and let's just make it a never-ending.
Let's take it slow, but I'm really freaked out about how
There's
long
no
it's gonna be
release
until
date.
the
I'm
next Marvel
dying.
movie.
Take it slow.
Yeah.
streak of just straight banger after banger after banger. So, look.
Why would banger after banger is one episode of a TV show after an admitted, like that he would even admit, bad television show of Secret Invasion. The Marvels pending, you don't actually know yet, and a trailer for Echo for, again, a show pending. You don't even know if it, the streak is one TV show. What
Yep.
the fuck?
Look,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah,
I'm really
all right,
happy
I'm waiting.
that Marvel has clapped back and Marvel
It
is
hasn't.
making good stuff.
There was an
Because,
article that
look, at
came
the end of
out
the day,
a couple of
us-
days ago, and then they released an episode of television that you liked, and that's them clapping back.
This is the thing. I barely count like an episode of TV show being good as evidence of not even because clapback has a very specific meaning from what I remember. But like, if we're just going to say they are doing better since the article, it's like, how can you count a trailer? That's ridiculous.
That's absurd. It's marketing.
I barely
It is
want to count the
marketing.
It's a trailer.
episode.
It's a commercial.
Us as fans,
It's-
we want this stuff to be great, but we also want it to be consistently great. And just because we got a great
That that would be included in the we want it to be great, wouldn't it? We
I
want it to
like
be...
how he just said that he wants the streak to continue, and he's about to admit that just because you got one episode of Loki you like, that doesn't mean anything. How do you do this?
Yeah, but we got a trailer
Like-
too. Come on.
Well, a streak is one. One is a streak, right?
Yeah.
Loki
I feel like a
episode, and that's going
streak by
really well, just
definition
because we
has
got
to
a
be
great
like
Echo
more than
trailer.
it feels like 3 at least, right? 2 isn't enough.
Why do you hate Disney so much?
Yeah. What's going on?
Can't
what's
you
going
be
on, bro?
objective?
Can you not see Peak?
Well, hey, I mean, it's everybody's really excited for Snow White, right?
You're not being
That's
very
gonna be
fire
Peak.
right now.
That's
Okay.
going to be peak fire cinematic excellent. Wait, no, peak fire cinematic peak.
Based. No cap.
Based, yeah,
For real.
based, not cocked.
You'd
Not
think
cucked.
you'd
Not
think he would have
over.
used based at some point, but no.
No, maybe based is out of date. Maybe that's out of style. Maybe that's not in right now.
Maybe he's like a Pokemon and he only knows 4 moves, and that's just like he doesn't
Fire,
have. He's
peak, cook,
fire,
what's the
peak,
fourth one?
cook.
Streak.
I
Bro.
don't know.
Dude,
Bro.
oh, bro, that's the evolution music, or is that the victory? It's been a while since I played Pokemon.
That's the victory music.
Yeah, that's the victory one, isn't it? But it also plays when you get the evolution, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
One, that
Let's just
doesn't
sit
mean the
here.
Echo series
Let's
isn't
just sit
good.
here and hum Game Voice tunes instead of sitting with him.
That shit was so fire. It was just
That was
absolute
pretty
hype.
fire. That was peak. Yeah. Charizard. Oh man, bro. Oh my god.
Bro. Now that was fire.
That was wild.
That was fire. That was Ember.
That was Riz or something.
Because guess what? The trailers for Secret Invasion were pretty damn fire, and they gave off a similar vibe. But now with Echo getting an actual...
Why?
Yeah, but the rating thingy. The rating. There you go.
Yes, that's right. This one's TVMA.
An actual TV mature rating.
How many times can you be punched in the face before you'll like go, wait a minute?
That makes me a lot more confident that the series it has a higher ceiling and will reach that potential compared to something.
Yeah, because whether or not blood is allowed, or sex is allowed, or drug use is allowed, that's what determines quality.
That's such a bizarre perspective to have. It's almost like, well, no, anything Pixar makes can never reach that height because you know they're making films that need to have a rating that's acceptable for children.
Well,
like
when I found out WALL-E 2 was rated R, I was like, oh, finally, the ceiling has been lifted.
That's right. The ceiling has been lifted. Now Pixar can reach the heights of Marvel Studios.
Yes. And so, yeah, it opens with a big splatter of blood and guts onto WALL-E. Apparently, there's good context for it.
Oh my god.
So, again, just because we've gotten Loki episode 5 and a great Echo trailer doesn't mean...
I like how all of this just completely undermines your entire point, these admissions.
Well, so he makes it, his main points are, I agree with all of the article, things are bad, and to fix it, we need to bring back old stars. Okay. Now, since then, we've had a good episode of Loki and a trailer I like. Now, that makes me at the point where I need to say sorry, but I also want to make sure you understand everything in the article is still true, and that a good episode and a good trailer doesn't really mean anything.
But seriously, keep the streak going of this episode and trailer. The Marvels, come on, I believe in you.
We should ignore the current problems going on with the rest of the MCU, all the problems going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. Yeah. Am I confident that Kevin Feige and the team will cook and bring the MCU back to its glory? 1000%. I'm very confident.
Well, man, so then you got nothing to worry about. You don't even need to make your videos about
you've
shambles
got,
or anything.
He's cooking, peak up for you. This all
Why do you even need to provide them your perspective, like you said? Oh, I need to offer constructive criticism so they can figure it out. If you believe 1000%, 10 times the complete amount that that you can believe in someone that they'll fix the problems, why even bitch? Just keep it to yourself. Just calm down and be patient and wait for them to fix everything all on their own.
I'm very confident in that because
I wonder if we could name the team. There's Kevin Feige. Could you name any other producers? Any of the other producers who work on these things?
Ronald.
Probably
Jr.
not.
Ronald Downey Jr.
Scarlett Johansson.
No, that's not
Downey
allowed.
Jr.
The producers.
Because we've been on this journey as fans for over 15 years now, and what a damn journey, bro. I'm gonna be riding with them to the day I die. So
fucking can we be a little dramatic?
Like,
what
why
it's
though?
like to be a slave.
So, again, guys, the MCU, I just hope they can continue this streak. Keep the streak alive. That's all we're asking.
Dude, stop it!
Loki, Echo, the Marvel.
It's like if you were addicted to a drug, right? And you went to rehab and you met someone there and you went through the program and you got off the drug. And every once in a while you walk by the rehab center and you look in the window and you still see someone who's addicted and they're still going through it. That's what it's kind of like. Like, we got off of it, we were like, yeah, Marvel's pretty neat, that's great. And then it started turning to shit, and so we're like, oh, okay. I mean, we don't really like it anymore. It's okay, whatever. And then you look in and see that he's still on it. He's still riding the high, and he's still going through the motions, and it's the most amazing
Rocking
thing
back
ever.
and forth in that straight jacket,
back
being
and
like
forth
that
in his
Echo trailer,
straitjacket.
man. It's TVMA. It's got blood. It's
I'm
gonna
sorry,
be good.
Marvel. I'm sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
Marvel.
Keep the
I'm
streak
so
going, even though I just admitted that there is no streak.
I'm so sorry, Marvel. Take me back.
Let's fucking
Go.
going.
Yeah.
So look, I'd like to take the chance to apologize to absolutely nobody for saying that the MCU was in shambles.
Oh.
Because guess what?
Cool. Thanks,
a good Loki
bro.
episode and a good Echo trailer shouldn't take away from the greater problems that the
Man, did you really do this because you needed to get it over 10 minutes to get like mid-roll ads?
I think.
We got a minute.
Well,
we
it's
got a
that.
minute left.
It's also baiting people into seeing this whole video, and then also to capitalize on. I guess he would have gone viral temporarily on Twitter with the people pointing
And
this
he
out.
figured that people pointing out that he's just completely like backflipping, quadruple flipping on.
Well, yeah, I mean,
is,
putting this right at the end, most people don't even get to these parts of the videos.
No,
Yeah,
well,
most people won't.
This is all very strategic.
MCU and Marvel Studios as a whole has been facing for the past few years and is still currently facing moving forward. But I will say, I
on
am
a good
sorry,
streak.
Marvel, for doubting you on Echo.
Oh.
Because that trailer was absolutely fantastic and it completely blew away any expectations that I had for this
The product has to be good. The commercial was great.
Yeah.
series. I love the this series. I love the tone. I love that you guys went with the TV mature rating and finally decided to
Yep.
take
So
you said that already.
I get it. Yeah, I said the
And I
6th
promise
time you
you,
said it. Yes.
If the series is fire in terms of a writing standpoint, action,
I'm
all
sure
of
it
it, if it's
will
a
be.
fire show, that TV mature rating will only elevate what you're trying to do moving forward in this corner of the MCU.
Yeah, we've been over that. That's fucking dumbass logic, but fine.
So, sorry for doubting you guys on Echo, but I'm happy to be wrong.
No, you're
All right,
not.
cool. Fucking hell. All right. So we're not
What
watching
a
any more of
worthless
his stuff,
channel.
right?
No, I can
it?
tell you
We're
we're
done?
not watching any more of
Okay,
his. But we are going to
Worthless,
see an
yeah.
image that I think encapsulates his enjoyment of media. I think anyway.
I'm reading it in his voice too. It's so
Yeah.
easy.
Bros, we
to
are
slip into
back.
it.
It is so over. Bros, so back. It's over. Bros, it's over.